Hello, it is streaming. We are going. Hello. Hello, everybody. It is
Hello.
me, your not so humble host and dungeon master, yet again, back again. So we're getting back into Iadithis. This is session 3 of stream. There was some before for us, but that's irrelevant. I stopped counting. We're gonna say session 3. Um, our adventures here traveled to quite an area, we'll call it that. Um, they were on their way to the Scarred Lands in order to find a rumored library of the past goddess Serena, goddess of knowledge, because some of them had more personal reasons to find it, some had reasons given by the gods above. Um, but either way, they were looking for this library, and it was rumored to be in this area, the Scarred Lands, an area war torn from age old wars, and an area that they were told magic could not be cast. They arrived by boat crashing after being attacked by an old acquaintance, friend, turned enemy of Kingsley. Um, and the boat crashed on the beach, and for a moment it seemed like magic worked just fine, which was kind of odd. There were some spells that didn't work. Certain divination spells our resident wizard was unable to cast, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff did work until they reached the sort of top of a hill where this fog in the area became very dense and the spells just stopped working entirely. Even spells that had been cast a moment before, like Mage Armor, immediately dropped the moment the fog was entered or even gotten to the edge of. Um, they noticed some strange bipedal robotic entities on the beach, and these were on top of them had a few people. They assumed, they could kind of see. Uh, Not wanting to risk that, they tricked them into moving away and using a bit of clever spell work in the areas where the spells could still be cast, and ended up going into the fog, heading northeast. What? No, sorry, northwest. I was getting my directions mixed up there. Heading toward the northwest, following the opposite that the compass of uncertainty pointed, because they didn't trust it. So they started heading in that direction, and eventually, traveling with the surviving sailors from the crashed boat, made their way to a point where they set up camp. The travel, all in all, entirely uneventful. You using a bit of um, cleverness, I guess, to keep the morale in the group up, keep you guys on path, and made your way to set up camp. Traveling a few hours in the morning, you exited the fog into this almost oasis, this large area with a sort of blue and white sign that read Altney. And upon walking down this large cracked stone path, you found that this was a town. They were speaking a strange language none of you knew, except uh, one of you, the radioactive purple rat baby. You could kind of pick up certain words here and there. It was just a really old, kind of dead language. Um, and so you picked up a few words. Eventually, you were approached by a man in a purple suit, kind of frilly vest, and carrying what I think it's reasonable you'd recognize to be a microphone, as you guys have that kind of thing back in Kingsport. Uh, Came up to you, but looking below his waist, he had a mass of metallic legs that just kind of writhed beneath him, and he walked in your direction, followed by a couple men, a couple of them having these large box things on their shoulder with lenses on the front, and a couple armed guards in strange attire. Behind them now, you would have seen that there was a large castle, and after conversing for a moment, eventually being able to converse using a strange device he had on his wrist, they led you toward the castle, this blue and white castle in the center, where you were given rooms. A lot of strange creatures in this area, all speaking a strange language. Strange all in all. But you were given rooms. Some of you had expressed wanting to go and use the showers. which I'll tell you, Zernus, you were one in particular who did. All of you could if you'd like, but Zernus, since you were the one who brought it up, I'll describe for you the experience because it's a bit odd. So you were led toward a private room, and you look in there and you do not see a bucket, you do not see a tub, you don't see any of that. That is what a shower or bath would consist of in Kingsport, Bermsley, any of these places you've traveled, even being a noble. Generally, it's still sponge bath, or the closest thing for a shower would be there'd be like an orb of magical energy toward the ceiling. You would interact with something in the area, and it would spray water down. You don't see any of that. You see a metal handle in the wall. You see a block of pink something sitting on a shelf. You can deduce that to be soap because you've seen things similar. But that's kind of what you can deduce that to be. But there's the metal handle, and then above you is what looks like it almost looks like a mushroom facing upside down on like a metal pipe above this metal handle. What would you like to do, Zernus? Standing in the room, looking at this strange setup, what do you do?
There's just a handle on the wall.
Handle on the wall. You could, if you would like to investigate further, I can give you some more information. See, this is what happens when I'm trying to describe modern technology to people who should not know what it is.
I think I'll just pull the lever. I'm confused at the weird growth on the wall.
Do you pull it towards you, or what direction do you pull it? Do you attempt to pull it?
He's like gently just like see which way it wants to go before I rip off another thing from it where it's supposed to be.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a quick investigation check. Investigation check for the shower. We love this.
Oh, that's a natural 20. What's my 22?
Okay, with a natural 20, 22, you kind of are careful about it, and you hold the handle and just kind of try to move it, see which way. It seems to go left and right. However, just giving it a little bit to the left, water comes out of the spigot above, splashing you on the head. And if you put it to the right, it does as well. However, to the right, it's warmer than to the left. To the left seems cold. So you now know how the shower works. Do you proceed to use the shower?
Yes, I will proceed to dance a rain dance under the magical growth on the wall.
Okay, and I wanna be specific. It's not it's a metal mushroom, I should say. It's not necessarily just a mushroom, but yeah. And so you use this strange, like, you can tell, okay, this is a shower. This is kind of like what I have at home, but this is like really different because normally it just comes out of an orb, and this is not that. This is weird. And it also, the water temperature isn't like consistent. It's like really inconsistent the entire time. And the soap is like, it kind of leaves a bit of a residue, and you're just kind of like, ugh. Because like normally in Kingsport or Bermsley, you're rich, you have magic, you just go doom, no more dirt. You know, it's easy as that. But like here, it's just kind of like, okay. So you get your shower. Those of you that want to as well,
I'm gonna
have a
roll an
similar
investigation check
experience.
for my shower.
Roll investigation, see if you could figure out the shower.
No, I cannot. I do not take a shower. I
So
rolled
you
a 3.
A 3. Okay, so you go up and you look at this like metal pole, and just kind of like,
I don't trust like that.
you just kind of look at it and just like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, where I'm from, it consisted of river.
River.
Can I
Yes.
give it a shot?
Okay, you said you want to as well?
It's a try. It's a roll investigation.
Investigation check.
I shall. That is a 18.
In 18, you look at it and you're kind of like, for a minute, unsure, but this is much more mechanical compared to what you're used to. In your brain, you're kind of like watching like the pipes and everything. You're like, okay, I get this. And so you pull it and the water comes on and it's like magic.
God. Oh.
And
Enjoy
so
that shower.
successfully able to use the shower. Good job. Is there anyone else who would like to attempt to shower?
Make us a shower check.
Having watched Rasan was just
Well,
like,
I don't think we're in the same room because they kind of.
I mean, they said we could, and Kingsley
could.
Said we
vouched
could.
for it.
Oh, okay then.
You could use the same rooms. The shower room is not the same as your room. It's like a separate thing down the hall. But you were told you could room up. They're not constricting you and keeping you individual. They're just told you that, like, when you are called for this interrogation, you'll be taken individually.
Then yeah.
But yeah, so Kingsley,
He's
try.
like, no.
No.
Having seen Rasan try, he's like, I'm too stupid for this.
I cannot do this. That's fair. What I'll say is, once those of you that have wanted to have done so, you are escorted back to your room by the guard. There is one on each end of the hall. They don't seem heavily armed. They have like a simple baton, and they're just there to make sure that you don't. Hey, just there to make sure that you don't try to run, because at the end of the day, you are still being held here temporarily. So the some time passes. As you guys get your showers, is there anything you guys want to do while you wait? You are told that you have at least a few hours until they're notified. So is there anything you'd like to do?
I want to bathe my son.
Okay. I mean, that's...
son.
I suppose that's doable. You know how the shower works.
He's minding his own business on the bed. I just grab him. It's like, you're getting clean.
Good luck.
I will.
I'm probably gonna catch
just-
Kingsley up on the whole dream situation.
Ah,
I'm just gonna sit.
I have to say one thing though. The bathing the rat baby thing just reminds me of a story my dad told me trying to bathe a ferret.
oh.
Don't bathe
Oh
a
no.
ferret.
Don't. You don't supposed to bathe those.
Well, I mean, you can. But he didn't know how to do it. And he got really scratched up. The thing was not happy.
I will bathe my son. He needs it. He's
I'm
stinky.
gonna just straight up practice my Morse code, refresh my brain cells a little bit.
Okay.
Just to enjoy myself.
So you get some practice in with the Morse code, Zernus and Rat Baby. You go and clean up. Do you bathe Sock as well? Do you bathe your dog?
Yeah, everyone gets clean.
Okay. That works. And yeah, anything else you guys want to do? Again, you have a good few hours. If there's anything, you want to just chat about, or if not, you can just wait until you are gathered.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I've caught Kingsley up on the whole dream situation. We don't have to RP it out. It's just is.
I wonder if I can talk to the guards.
Do you want to try?
Yeah, I want to make friends. I want to learn their language because my son knows it. But like, hey, I want to know what the definition of Riz means.
Oh god.
Okay.
Oh no.
So, that word might be lost to time.
do. I saw someone riz the fuck out of you.
Oh no. So what I will say, they are on opposite ends of the hall. Do you want to approach one? Do you want to try to get both together? What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna approach one.
Okay. We'll say probably the one closest to you be the one by the showers. He's just kind of standing there. He's got the baton in its holster. He's just kind of leaning against the wall. Seems to be reading a book.
Oh, what's he reading?
What was he reading? Make me a
What is
perception
he
check.
reading?
Smart.
He's not Galliard. That is a 16.
16. So while you cannot read the language on the front of it, it is in this strange language you don't know. And I'll say, radioactive purple rat baby, if you're there and you would like to attempt, I'd ask for a perception check from you as well.
Yeah.
But Zernus, what I can tell you with no words being legible, there's a picture on the front. It seems to be a castle. It's different looking than the one that you are currently inside. This looks more fortress-like. And it seems to have like a dark sky, a couple fires on the fortress. And then Rat Baby, if you did roll, what did you get?
Okay, what
Oh,
this one?
I didn't see D20. I believe that's what you were holding. Yeah. So you roll that and just add perception. Which, if there's nothing written for perception on there, then tell me what the wisdom modifier is, because I don't have your sheet in
My
front of me.
passive perception is 10.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all I got on that.
So yeah, it's just a straight roll.
This doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but I do actually have advantage on perception checks that rely on smell.
This
Go
wouldn't
smell the book.
This wouldn't, but although okay,
I can't see. My nose is plugged.
you could roll with advantage if you want to try to see if you can smell something off of it.
I mean, I'll try because I rolled a 2. So
Okay.
what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
I hit the wall. Hold on. I'm so good at this, guys.
Yeah. Believing in you.
12.
Yeah.
Maybe I can smell the book.
12. So you don't really make out any of the words, but you get this really strong smell of like tobacco, and you get the idea that this guy probably smokes a lot, and probably while reading the book, just kind of like sitting out on the balcony smoking something and reading the book. But you can't really make out anything as far as what the book is of. But there you go. You got something. You learned something about the guard.
He's a smoker.
He's a smoker. Okay. And Zernus, you approach, and he kind of
Just
takes
wave
notice.
like hell.
He closes it and waves back. And he just kind of gives like a thumbs up with like a quizzical look in his face, kind of giving you the idea is like, everything good?
I'm gonna poke to like and point to the cigarette he has in his mouth and shrug.
He'll kind of like pull out of the pocket, hold one out to you.
Do I know what these are? Do I?
I mean, they look differently than to what you would be familiar with, but the smell alone you would recognize. It's a thing that exists.
I got 7 on my intelligence. I'm gonna take one.
Okay. I'll just tell you, it's bad. It's kind of bad.
He's dying.
He just kind of like holds out his hand. He's like, give back. He just kind of pats it out and puts it away. He just kind of is looking at you. I mean, you don't know. You haven't said anything to him thus far.
I could try. I'm gonna say like, hello, hi. That was awful.
He's gonna kind of pull up his arm, and you're gonna see he's got one of those wrist things as well, and just kind of like holds it up to you, looking really bored.
What book were you reading?
Kind of twist. What book you read? Okay, hi. Book was I reading? It's a history book. It's apparently from some really, really old war.
What kind of war?
It's like a war of independence, I guess.
What did you learn from it?
I mean, okay, so they were fighting over like tax stuff mainly. At least that's what this book is saying. But I mean, I don't know. It seems more like the people just wanted more freedom for themselves, and the taxes were just kind of like a way that was holding them back. That's what I'm getting from it. It's a good read. I mean, you wouldn't be able to read it, but
Derek,
I mean, if
can
you,
I ask
you know,
what language you speak?
I mean, we've always just said it's the common language, but I guess that's just because like our common language is different than yours.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I don't really know what else to call it. That's kind of just what it's always been called. I mean, some of us speak Elvish, but that's just because, you know, a lot of elves kind of around, but not all of us.
Do you speak Elvish?
And he does that thing where you've like taken a formal like French class, and he basically is just kind of a little bit. He says that in Elvish a little bit. Un petit, you know. Un
Hey,
petit
that's
français,
not
you
that
know.
bad, you know.
I know a few words. I know how to say hi, my name is, and where's the bathroom, but that's about all I learned, to be honest.
Zernas will look around. You want me to teach you how to swear?
I would love for you to teach me how to swear.
Yes.
Do you teach this man how to say a few swears in Elvish?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You're a fluent speaker. It was your first language, so I'm not going to make you roll anything, but I'm going to have him roll an intelligence check to see if he actually can understand this. Okay, that's pretty average. It was an 11, and he doesn't really have a plus to it, so he kind of like is understanding, and you can tell his pronunciation is really off, but he's trying. He is trying, and you know you can applaud that.
I'm giving good job. Great.
He's like, really? Oh, nice.
Teaching a man how to curse. Slay.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, he's trying to learn. He's like, you want me to teach you something?
Okay.
And basically, like, he teaches you a few swears in his common language, and he's like, oh, what would you say that means? Bitch. That's what that one meant. And I'll give you a bit of information. Well, no, roll me an intelligence check. I want to see if you pick up on something.
15.
Okay.
I have no modifier.
That's okay. That's a good roll. This language, and Rat Baby, I'd say just kind of passively, you would recognize this as well. This language is a mix of the old language that Rat Baby you recognize, but it's a mix of quite a few other things as well. And in fact, I think uniquely, well, I'll say Zernus you first, because you would pick up on this. You're going to pick up on the fact that there are aspects of Elvish mixed in here, but also aspects of Dwarvish, Halfling. Just, it's this weird amalgamation of different languages. But also, Rat Baby, you recognize, and while you can't remember necessarily the names of the different languages, because there are so many, this language seems like a mix of old tongues that you remember from long, 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 long ago, over 10,000 years ago. It's these languages are ancient, probably, you know, thought to have not been spoken anymore, or have evolved into the common tongue that the rest of the party is speaking. But this is a different dialect. This is a different, it evolved in a different way to the point where it is something else entirely. Oh God, things are happening in the general chat. What is going on? But you guys kind of pick up on that as you're there. I need to see what this is. Hold on. That is incredibly funny. That is so funny. Literally saying, please tell me no one has taught Zernus how to swear. About that.
Just
like it happened the second after.
Exactly.
That's so good. But this takes you guys a little while, and I'll say the time it takes to do that, chatting with this guy, realizing those things, that probably takes you an hour.
Do I get his name?
His name is Johnson. He simply goes by Johnson. He doesn't give any, whether
Johnson.
that's first name, last name, just what he says his name is. And you do kind of,
I will
he
give
points
him
to
my
the
name.
thing on his chest. Okay. He does point, and you can kind of, he points to the name tag he has, and it does say, well, you are assuming that it says Johnson, so you actually get a few letters. You know what it looks like.
I know how to spell Johnson now.
There you go. And you
Hey.
give him your name, and he's like, huh, nice name.
And then hold messing
yeah.
up. This is insert long name that I
Oh. Hey. This ain't
Radioactive
the
purple rat,
weirdest thing
baby?
I've seen.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
holding
talking
his
to
setup.
just kind of like looking at you in the eyes, Rat Baby, just kind of like, huh. Oh, hey. This is really weird.
He can do many a thing. Like he can play the accordion, he can write, he can speak, and he can understand.
Say something. Talk to me.
He can't speak that way.
Oh. What do you mean?
Your explanation is as good as mine.
Only I can understand what he's saying.
This makes you sound crazy.
Oh. Okay.
People be in a room.
Shut your face. No rubber room. No rats. I'll kill them all.
Are you sure you want to kill them all? That sounds kind of crazy.
Shut. No. No. Fine. Spooky music. Boss fight now. No, but in all seriousness, he just kind of like interesting. I mean, you've seen the rat folk outside on the way here, probably. You know, carved faces, kind of creepy.
Not like he.
No, I mean, listen, they're nice enough. Gonna warn you, since we're conversing, you probably be informed of this later anyway. I think I saw you had a human with you. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You might want to like not let him go wander by himself, because they kind of have a cult-like worship of humans. The rat folk do. They think that statue out there was commemorating a great battle where a treaty was. They've come up with their own history for it. They think it was like some great battle where this king mouse, I guess, made a treaty with the humans. So
are you not human?
I am, but we kind of hold different station, so we're okay. We, you know, they're not going to hurt him. It's just they're going to try to they're going to treat him like a celebrity. And that could be a good thing. However, they would be following him around everywhere.
That's probably not the thing that he needs right now.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how much you know about like old elvish stuff and like the wars and whatnot. You don't have to worry about anyone here treating you differently. Everyone is pretty accepting of everyone here. It's just humans specifically that are put on kind of a pedestal by that specific group. So,
okay.
Yeah, just giving you that heads up. You might want to warn your group. It'll, yeah. Yeah.
Let me have a look at something real quick.
Okay.
Why haven't?
Oh.
I don't think I do. Do I have it on my sock? Do you have it?
What are you looking for?
Just if I can entertain him or something. Do you believe in God, sir?
Not really.
How so?
I mean, we've always heard about gods around and everything, but we've never seen them here.
I think you scared them.
Maybe. That's kind of what some of the people at the top say, is that, you know, this is a god of, or it's a land of, what do they say? No
A war
gods or
was fought.
devils, only man, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we're independent. Like, we don't care if you're like a holy man or whatever. We're just independent. And okay, you're gonna realize something very quickly. We don't have magic here. Probably already have. Because we see magic as a crutch and would prefer to do things ourselves.
So you control whether magic gets in or out?
Kinda. I mean, we don't. I mean, yeah, the kings do. Yeah.
Kings?
Yeah. Yeah, the twin kings of the mist. Have you not? Oh, you're probably gonna meet them later. Okay.
Do we have to?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not, but I mean, just depends on if they decide to interrogate you individually or as a group. If they deem that it's easier to do as a group, then they'll probably just take you all down there and just set you before the kings, and then they'll judge you. And if they judge you as safe, then you'll be free to roam the city and leave as you please. And if you're deemed as not safe, then they'll have you executed.
I'm getting weird flashbacks.
I see. That's. What do you think about magic? Have you ever witnessed it?
I mean, okay. I have. Yes and no. I haven't seen it myself, but I've seen the old tapes recounting a war at one point, and magic seems like a very destructive force. It overall, for the good I've seen that it can do, it seems like a pretty negative thing.
Yeah, but you have you're like artificers, right? You make machines.
Sure. I mean, kind of, yes.
Well, if you make machines, they can also be very bad and negatively impact everything. But things can be good too.
Not in the right hands. I mean, in the right hands, they can be tools for good.
Well, so can magic.
Listen, we could have this debate all day long, but I mean...
Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm arguing. My magic mainly does healing. Mainly.
Ah, so you do magic, okay.
Well, sometimes it's more of a... Because I'm like a knight and bangs on the armor. I get like...
Okay.
It's... You don't believe in gods. So, like, imagine if the kings you have, imagine if they blessed you with something and that blessed took on like a physical kind of aspect form and it gave you powers. That's basically what I get because I follow those people.
Oh, okay. Okay. Also, I want to just clear something up. I guess I misspoke. It's not necessarily that I don't believe in the gods. I know they exist. They just don't exist here. And we prefer it that way.
Do you speak as we as in the people or you?
The people. And me, generally. We don't need them.
Nice. I have to be careful what I say, but then we can agree on. Sometimes.
I mean, you're not going to be executed for, like, you know, saying you believe in gods and, you know, you think they're good. Like, it's fine. Like,
no,
free
we're just going to be
speech.
executed because we look like scary folk from the outside.
If you, to be more specific, if you're going to prove a threat, are you going to prove a threat?
I don't think so, no. I don't intend to. I like to share cuddles with everyone.
He kind of looks at you for a minute. All right. I mean, you know.
I mean, like, looks down at dog.
Okay, that's fair. I think as long as that's the case and you're not going to prove a threat to anyone, then you should have no problem. It's just, if you are going to be a threat, we're not going to let a threat stay here.
Okay, no, that's fine. That makes sense.
Now, This has been lovely, and thank you. I do have to get back to watching you guys because somebody could have snuck past. So I have to get back to my post.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
And he's gonna kind of flip. He's gonna kind of just to ensure, just kind of flip the watch, just kind of twist it, and goes back to reading. Gives you a thumbs up.
The Sock's just staring at him intently. He smells funky.
He does smell funky. Anything
They
anyone
smell
else wants to
funky.
do before you collect? I do not hear any takers. So, wizard.
My apologies. What did you ask?
Shortly. Oh, if there's anything anyone would like to do before you are collected for interrogation.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Kingsley already knows that he can't contact you-know-who, correct?
Who is you-know-who?
Her.
I mean, she didn't respond at one point, but you don't know if that's like an indefinite permanent thing right now. It's just that during that one instance you couldn't. Do you want to try again?
Yeah, he's basically going to look at your son. I'm going to take a nap.
Okay.
What is that?
And he's going to attempt.
Okay. If this matters for you at all, you have enough time to get a short rest in. I don't think you've used anything, but if you have that time. So you attempt to access the dreamscape, the dream space where she resides. Go ahead and make me a religion check, please.
$21.
21. With a 21, you go to rest, and you can... Okay. You go to rest and awaken in this dreamscape. You do seem to be able to access it, and you see the cottage in front of you. Long gravel path. However, normally you would be able to see out a great distance around you. There would be either trees or water in all directions. It always changed. It always varied. Sometimes places you'd been, sometimes places you hadn't. But as you look around you, you cannot see past the cottage. All you see is the path, a little bit of grass around it, and the cottage in front of you. Do you walk toward it?
Mm-hmm.
You walk toward it, open the door. It's cracked. And you see her sitting there in a chair, and she is breathing heavily. She seems very out of breath. And she's just kind of sitting there. And as you enter, she looks toward you. Kingsley, hi.
Are you okay?
I think so. I'm just, the closer we're getting to the library, I don't know, I keep seeing flashes and I'm... Make me a quick insight check. Or actually, no, what is your passive insight? We'll say that. Passive insight.
Don't know how to calculate that.
10 plus your plus to insight.
14.
14. She's having a panic attack.
He is going to go over, sit next to her. It'll be all right.
Yes, I know,
What?
I just...
What kind of flashes? What are you seeing?
Do you want to see?
You can do that?
We're in a dream right now. Yes.
True. All right.
She's going to take her hands and place them on either side of your head, and you get flashes of images. This isn't like a movie, it's more like a slideshow of images. you see a great blinding flash. You do feel things here. You feel heat and a rush of wind going past you. It's hot, very hot. Even for you, not being able to be affected by fire, it burns like nothing you've ever felt. And as you look into the sky, you see the silhouette of a man, a billowing cape, and what you can see to be a lance, just this silhouette in the sky. And you can tell this is where that flash originated from. And you see your hand, although it's not yours, it's Serena's, reach out, and this next image you see, the lance is falling, and you see the figure's hands up near its throat before it begins to fall. There's darkness for a moment. And then the next thing you see is something crashing through the sky in your direction. And then that's where it ends. I remember that what happened to the library. I knew what happened, but I didn't remember how it happened, and I think that's it, but that's the day I died. I suppose you kind of understand what that's like, though, getting to see your own death. So you can relate.
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah.
So what are we going to do when we get to the library?
Research.
On what?
Well, Tula had asked us to do some research on some things. So just
All right.
those.
Nothing for yourself?
Well, it would be nice to try to figure out how to help you.
Help me? In what way?
Well,
How would you help me?
I don't know, but you can't stay here forever.
Where would I go?
Become yourself again. Take back your place.
Suppose you're right. Kingsley, would you help me with this issue? Oh, I heard a subscribe thing. Thank you. It scared me for a second because I forgot it had audio when it did that, and I went, ah. But thank you for the subscription. Yeah. But so this goddess, she looks to you. I know you said you'd help me with this, of course. Help me with getting back to myself. But would you get me back to my place and then perhaps consider taking someone else's? Anir specifically. He's gone right now. And he's terrible. You saw what he did to me.
No offense, but I don't really know what happened. I mean, I saw what he did, yes.
I was there. I know what he did. What he did to hundreds.
I know he's not good, but we don't... You don't remember why he did it, do you? I'm not saying that you're bad. Just...
I would never do anything bad enough for that. Ever. And he did that. He killed me. He took everything, not just from me, but from the world. Years, centuries of knowledge, gone and lost to this waste. No, I don't know exactly why. But I don't think I need to. Nothing is worth that. He deserves to be dethroned.
He already is.
Not for long. Not forever. They're already looking.
I don't know.
You just need to ensure, even if he comes back, he isn't at full strength. That's all you need to do.
And how would I do that?
His lance. He needs that to be whole again. Keep it from him. When you find it, keep it from him. Hide it.
Okay.
I knew I could count on you.
That doesn't mean I'm going to help you take his place, though.
You don't need to. You just need to help me with that. We are one and the same, you and I, at least right now. But soon that won't be the case. And everything will be okay again. As it should be. And then she is going to sever the connection. Normally you walk out the door, you wake up, that's the end of the dream. It severs right there. So you wake, and I'll say you wake about the time they're coming to get you. Anything else for anyone here that they would like to do, fulfill? Aurelia, I know you sent me something, and that works just fine. You are completely capable of doing that. I don't think you should need to do, yeah, because all of you, just because I know you joined in, I think right after I said this, just kind of as a reminder for everyone, you guys had your own rooms. You can double up if you wish. I know Drasan and Kingsley more than likely you guys did. I'm assuming Zernus and Wizard did, although I don't know because Wizard's not here right now. But, you know, those of you that wanted to, more than welcome to, or you had enough to have your own rooms as well. So there you go. You are free to do that. I'll say that after those, about 3 hours, 3.5, we'll say. So it's early afternoon, or mid-afternoon, to be more specific. There is a knock on each of your door, and it is a guard, Zernus and Radioactive Purple Rat Baby. It is different than the guard that had, or either of the guards that had been in the hallway. This is a different guy.
My friend, no.
It seems like he switched out his shift. But this guy, there's a few of them. There's about 5 guards, all in similar attire as the ones that had been at the end of the hall. They come and collect you all. And, oh my god, dog. And they let you know. The kings have decided to speak with you as a group instead of individually. It'll be quicker, easier. So please do follow us.
Okay. This will be fine. This will be great. This is okay.
It's okay.
I will not inform anyone yet as to not panic them. Therefore, may or may not happen.
Okay, so you don't share any of the information you've gathered.
Yep. I mean, apart from like the swear words.
Lovely. Which the guards kind of give you a look when you start saying them. They're kind of like, oh, okay. First thing you learn, got it. Who did that? But so you are led down the staircase you had originally come up, and you're actually led out of the castle. You are led down the main large road that you had originally come down, and 1 second. Allergies. You are then led to a manor. Gates are open for you, guards moving out of the way. The guards around the manor, their dress is a bit better, a little more showy than functional. You can tell it's still functional, but it's less a person who'd be on the front lines of battle and more someone who is there as a status symbol. Even their weapons are like intricately carved and whatnot, even though that has no tactical advantage. So you are led up to the door and into the hall, up a couple flights of stairs, guards watching you the entire time. The ones inside the building being much more the shoot first, ask questions later, rough and tough kind of guys, unlike the guys outside. You are then brought before a large set of double doors that go almost to the very high ceiling. There are a couple knocks, and after a moment, the doors swing open. And in this hall, this main hall, at the far end, there is a risen platform with stairs leading up to it, and there are 3 chairs. Around the room, almost like a jury in a courtroom, there are many, many seats and just people everywhere. You see that up at the bottom of the staircase where this risen platform is, there are a few people who seem to be pleading their case to the people that are up top and are quickly waved off. Or they're handed something and then waved off. This room is decently, nicely adorned. Lots of what I guess you could consider expensive colors, lots of reds, turquoise, golds. It's a very nicely adorned room, curtains over the windows, these very large arch windows. So there are 3 chairs. On the left side is a large, looks to be human, portly individual wearing a silver crown atop his head, shoveling food into his face. Crackers, meats, cheeses, just shoveling food into his face, chewing and speaking with his mouth full. A disgustingly just kind of gluttonous display. He has a goatee, neatly trimmed above the jowls of neck. His hair is kind of receding, just sort of around the sides, around the crown. Black hair. And dressed in, if you kind of picture a king, the reds and golds and everything, robe, that's kind of what this guy's wearing. The guy on the right looks exactly like him, except he's on the right and has a little more hair on the top of his head. Crown exactly the same, literally carbon copy, mirrored on the other side. The man in the middle is the one that catches your eye as being different. He is a halfling. Looks kind of nervous. Has a small plate in front of him, just kind of nibbling at stuff, and seems to be just kind of listening, while the other 2 are kind of yelling at each other and at the person down below, shoveling food in their faces. He's much more timid and just seems to be kind of listening, a word every couple sentences. There are a few other individuals around the room. The seats don't seem to be packed. It's a pretty empty room right now. But those are the ones you take note of. There's one person in here you do recognize immediately, though, and that is Richard Hardy, who is the man with the mechanical legs, purple suit that had seen you when you first came in. He does have his camera crew with him, and seems to be just recording the entire ordeal with just this huge smile on his face. You are led up by the guards, waiting in line, and after a moment, you are put in front of the kings, who, one of them, you can almost, you feel, I'll say Zernus, you feel like a fleck of something hit your face. You don't want to think about it. I will say, Zernus, before you were brought up there, they do ask you to remove your helmet before you go, so that they can see your face. And that goes for any of you that are covering your face. They do ask you, do not in the presence of the kings.
Ew.
Real quick, Zernus, do you comply?
You know what? Take my helmet off? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What if it's a religious thing?
Like they said, no gods here. Galliard, I do want to fill you in real quick. You guys just kind of did some... you had a few hours before being brought before the kings, the twin kings of the mist. Both of them are very portly men. There's a man in the middle, a halfling, looks much more timid, and then the only other person in the room is Richard Hardy, who is the man, purple suit, that with the robotic legs, and the camera crew. And you are currently you are not in the castle. You were actually taken to a manor outside, a little bit down the road.
Okay.
That's really all you missed. Yes.
All right.
What about the face paint? Because Kingsley always has that.
They don't really seem to mind that as much. They don't really say anything because they can still see your face. They don't seem to really care necessarily about if it is just plain your face. It is more so a helmet like what Zernus had covers it too much. If it was like an open face helmet, like what a lot of the guards have, probably be fine. But this is like a full face bucket helm. So they're kind of like, listen, just while you're with the kings, take it off. As this, before you guys are led up, it's a couple. It's a man and a woman. Seem to be pleading something with their house, basically just, we want to make an addition to our house, but of course we need your approval. So can we get a write-off saying that we can make these alterations, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, fine, write it off. Fine, let's get them out of here. And as they leave, Richard Hardy just kind of, and out, please, in you go, this way, this way, this way. Let's go out of the way. We have our guests of honor. Kings, I bring before you. What do we call you?
We never decided that.
I bring before you. We
Everyone
haven't
turns
decided
to
that.
Kingsley.
No, that's not what
We all
was
look to Kingsley.
I think the washouts is pretty fitting.
The washouts?
Washout of what?
Well, he's the leader. Points to Kingsley.
Bull.
Hey,
When did we have an election?
I didn't
We should
hear what
have
was
settled
said,
on a
Matt.
name before.
Wasn't it like the cuddle harem out of party?
Out of game.
Yeah.
I think so.
What? Oh, my brain is not braining.
Do you not have a name? I mean, if you don't, that's fine. But like, if you don't have a name for yourselves.
Kingsley, do something.
I like
Putting him on the spot. Anyone say
Come on,
something,
hurry.
please.
the
Hurry!
name that Arelli suggested.
What was I didn't
Hurry, we don't
know
have
what
much
else
time.
Suggested. What was the name that was suggested?
The
This is out of game.
washouts.
The washouts. Do you want to go by the washouts? Is out of game? Is
Fine.
what do we think?
It's a name.
Gosh.
Kingsley.
I mean,
I mean, we are the washouts. We did wash up on the shoreline, so
Yeah.
Then,
it'd be accurate.
to be fair, you all speak.
multiple times.
You
Hey, we've
I
done it
smell
twice. We have a
great,
good
thank
track
you.
I
record.
got a shower.
So did I. Why? I don't believe you.
Wait, we got showers?
I don't believe you.
Oh yes. Honestly, so Galliard, if you would have wanted to get a shower, you would have known they existed. However, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to make me a investigation check, please. This is backing up time. Backing up time.
So
Investigation
bad.
check, yes. And I will explain why.
That's a total of 12.
Damn.
12. So you go in this room and it is mostly like blank tile walls. There's a metal lever in front of you and what looks like a spigot above you. You've never seen anything like this before. Normally, most showers in Kingsport, even for the rich, are like little orbs of magic that basically just create food and water, or create water from like create food and water.
I love that
above
so
you. Yeah, that's all it is. Or it's like a wash tub with a sponge and a bucket. Like that's what a shower or a bath is. You're looking at this. There's the handle. You could figure you might be able to do something. I'll say with the 12, you reach forward, grab the handle, attempt to pull it towards you. It doesn't budge, and you're just kind of like, what?
What? I'm just getting this idea of like Galliard, he just has a towel around his waist. He's trying like really hard to pull the lever. This is the thing towards him. It's not working. He looks up towards the shower. Towards the shower head, tries to like fiddle with that, pull that a bit, kind of like looks around, sees if there's any damage on it, because that's usually where the water comes from, at least as an analog to whatever this weird thing is. He's trying.
Did you ever room with me?
I thought we all had separate rooms.
Can I take
you had the option
you could double up?
Yeah, you had the option of separate rooms, but you had the choice of doubling if you wanted to.
Can I please have my son for the day? I need to take care of my son.
We're in a court hearing. Silence.
I want my boy.
So, speeding time back up. Speeding time back up to where we are in the court. What's the name we're deciding on? There have been a couple thrown out in chat. There's been a couple thrown out, well, not like Twitch chat, but like Discord chat. What is the one we are 100% deciding on for at least this moment?
We're charismatic.
Charismatic.
I need to read.
We are not charismatic. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
True.
Listen,
Not at all.
More if you make them think we are, however.
Charismatic
cavalry.
Why not just the charismatic washout straight up?
Why not?
Oh, God.
Why not?
Sound good? Does everyone feel good about that one?
Yeah, I don't mind that one.
Yeah, might as well.
Charismatic washouts.
Charismatic washouts.
Kingsley, I'll say you guys would have had this conversation at some point in game. They had all said to look to you as the leader. So Richard Hardy looks to you, as do the Kings. So what do we call you?
Just kind of glaring at them for putting him on the spot. Charismatic washouts.
Oh, that's amazing. Charismatic. All right. So somebody's telling me to drink water. Fuck you.
Ha!
Okay.
Thank you, V, for forcing him to drink water.
So, charismatic washouts, meet the Kings. I suppose I should introduce you while they stuff their faces. So, we have Rupert and Jonathan Berger. So, I suppose they're there, and the person in the middle, technically not one of the Kings, although still a person of importance, Jermaine Foxwaddle.
I like his last name. He has a vibe.
Jesus.
Mean Foxwaddle.
So that is who's there. There are some other people around the room. Uh-huh. All I'm gonna say to the thing that was just posted. Yep. That is the entire point. So that is who will be doing your judging today. Normally we would just have basically a standard judge and jury. However, this is a special occasion. We haven't had people from outside the walls for some time, so we wanted to make this an extra special occasion. And he's going to kind of snap his fingers and spotlights come on around the room, and then more like you see more of these people with what you kind of could deduce to be cameras around the room. So, charismatic washouts, let's see how charismatic you really are. And then he is going to step away, and the kings are going to kind of look down to you. The room dims a tad. And they look to you. Plead your case.
I'm gonna whisper it now just to inform everyone. Yeah, so if we screw up, we will be executed.
We're gonna be executed?
I'm like, excuse me? Wick's just... I should have left at the ship. I'm Scott.
If we screw up...
I literally cannot
If we
speak.
screw up, then maybe... Be nice, please.
Are we going to be executed if we mess up?
Oh my god.
One of the kings, full belly laugh, like his jowl just kind of flapping as he laughs. He takes the piece of steak he was shoving in his face and just kind of stops chewing on it. If you prove to be a problem, then I suppose we'll have to. And he goes back to chewing on it.
Wick's looking disgusted right now.
John.
Oh my god.
Yes, Connor.
You have been forced to drink 2 more times. You need to drink.
Sip, sip.
There, fuck you. So,
Pedro Pascal.
we'll say this is the king who you'd been told to be Rupert, the one on the left, with the slightly more thinning hair, is the one who had said that. And the one on the right, the one you told was Jonathan, Jonathan Berger. He looks to you and kind of clears his throat a bit. What are you doing here?
We are here to search your land for a library.
Library. We have libraries down the street.
Oh, no, a specific library.
A very special one.
Be more specific.
We're looking for a library.
Serena's library?
Yes.
Who is that?
She was
a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Kingsley, you're the best one to explain this.
Yep.
She was one of the gods. But she perished when her domain, her library, was thrown at her here in these lands. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think of how they would respond to this.
This is what I genuinely think the sound was at the domain.
Oh no. This Jonathan looks to you. I'm going to ask that you refrain from speaking of the gods any further.
Looks like
which ones? All of them? Or...
Yes, all of them. They are overbearing, narcissistic individuals. We do not wish them to be here.
Wick's just smile a little bit. She's like,
Now, you're looking for a grand library. A ruin, would you say?
Are
you here?
Considered so, yes.
Are you here to pillage it? What are you here to do with said library?
Read.
Well,
research.
Yes.
Seeking information.
We just
it's
want
the only
to...
place that would have the information that we're looking for.
Right, we just want knowledge.
Do you know where it is?
No.
No.
No, it's
here.
Yes.
Not directly here, but here.
Hold on.
Around the land?
In this general area.
I think Aurelia had some information.
I'm remembering something and I need to find it because I know it was written down.
Croc. Specifically, we
Mhm.
were told Croc by the thing, if that's what you're looking for.
I think I did post it in one of the channels.
Yes, it's in lore.
Yeah.
Aurelia will bow before speaking, and he'll step forward and ask, "May I recite what my spell gave me? It's quite lengthy."
When you mentioned it was from a spell, he kind of they both mutter to each other and kind of just almost spit when talking about it. You don't quite catch what they're saying, but just kind of
That's fine.
Yeah. But they just turn to you. Speak.
I'll recite the entirety of the several length poem that I do not want to read out loud.
That is entirely valid. Yeah.
And he'll end off with saying, "I apologize. I do know this comes from something that you do not like, but we did not know that we would be stopping through here."
This continent is our lands, not just this small region.
Good luck.
However, you're looking for Croc, was it?
And Croc's embrace. Specifically something about shattered spines, and then I think it was a ravine. At least from what I'm interpreting.
Okay. Good interpretation. They're going to kind of look to each other, mutter a bit, and you do catch, because they're not necessarily trying to be quiet with this. They're kind of trying to decide if they know what you're talking about, and well, it could be this place, it could be this one. And after a moment of talking, they kind of turn back to you. But before they speak, the one in the middle, Jermaine Foxwaddle, kind of holds up his hand and he stands. And you can tell his hands are kind of shaky. He's kind of wringing his hands a lot. He seems just very kind of anxious. And he takes a few steps forward. And the two kings do not say anything. They take that as a sign to not speak. And he's going to walk down the steps and he's going to approach your group. He's within about 10 feet of you, this Jermaine. Okay, you're looking for the library. I might know what you're talking about. But you're not going to get there like this. And he kind of waves his head like this. You're not going to make it. Too dangerous.
What do you mean? Like,
Pardon?
on like on foot?
There are creatures. Yeah, on foot. That's really the only way to get there. I mean, there are creatures, but that's still, on land. Creatures you could ride. I mean, you might have seen some coming in here, large reptile like creatures, other things as well. But sorry, long day.
It's okay.
You're not going to make it on foot though, or on the backs of one of those. There is, how to put it, there are things out in the mists. We didn't make the mist. I want to make that very clear. That wasn't us. That was here when we got here. We found ways to control it ever so slightly, as you can see around the city. But nothing portable. It's just something here. Anyway, there's things out in the mists that will devour you very quickly and cannot be reasoned with. And you guys, some of you are magic users, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of honesty, he'll nod.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Some of you, I can see you got weapons on you. That's all well and good. It's not going to be enough. Truthfully. You're certain this library is probably there. You feel pretty certain.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to be deceptive. The spell that we had used to get that information is a very powerful spell.
Okay.
Didn't they tell us themselves where it might be?
Josh doesn't know, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I meant like the
I don't think
gods.
he did. I don't think he did.
Wasn't it a bit of
Not
both?
like this.
I thought so too.
So I think we can help each other a little bit. You need to find the library, and I think I know where it is. And so there's a lot of ruins, really old ruins around here, and I need something from inside of one of those ruins, and I think it's the one the library's in. If you can get me something from that ruin, a couple things maybe, on the way back, then I think that could benefit us
What
both.
exactly are you looking for in the room?
So, part of our mission here at Altney is to preserve the past, to piece together what we can, and try to make sure we don't make the same mistakes as the people before us by learning from it. There is a great wealth of knowledge, not the library you're referring to, but a old library, in the same ruin, same area. It just so happens. We need some logs from there, some logs of what happened. I know exactly what you'd be looking for. I can give you the information on it, but you know, maybe if we get these logs, we can kind of know what happened, so we know why things are the way they are here, why these deadly creatures are here, and why the fog's here. It's as deadly for us as it is for you. We just have our little haven here.
Do you mean before the land became scarred?
Correct. This land's been scarred for a long, long time, and there's not really a lot of records on what happened.
Well, if we go do this, will you be able to share your safe haven with a gesture to wherever they're keeping the crew? The massive crew that came in?
Oh, for sure. Not only can we share the safe haven with them, but part of the deal here is so we found some old technology. There was a time at one point where humans and elves were at war, and these humans did not have magic at all. But the elves did. And during that time, the humans made these devices that would harness magic from the area around them, and it would allow them to cast spells. Not as much as the elves, for sure, but a little bit. And he actually kind of raises his arm, and you see this. It looks like a bracer, kind of, but with these whirring, twisting mechanical components. And he kind of raises his hand and snaps his fingers, and a ball of flame appears in his hand. Kind of like this. And he snuffs it out. It allows you to cast spells.
Magic?
Well, some don't. They don't, pointing to the kings behind him. But poof. But I kind of dabble. I see it as a means to an end, really. What I'm offering is I think we have enough of these devices to give to those of you that are casters. You won't be able to cast in your full capacity like you were before, but maybe once or twice a day you can cast a spell. It's more than you have now, and it might just be enough to tip the scales in combat. But only on the condition that you get this for us, and we will know because these do have trackers in them. So we'll know if you run.
That seemed generous.
What items? Do you have a list? Do you have a description?
It's just two things, and he's going to pull out. It's basically just a really rough sketch with a brief description, and he shows it to you, and it's in this language you don't recognize. You could tell, by the way, the moment you walked in the room, you were immediately able to understand them. They could understand you. You see they all have those watches on, like Richard already has. And you can kind of gauge he's maybe synced up with them, so you've been able to speak. But you do hear some people around the room you can't understand. But on the paper, he kind of shows it to you and then goes, "Can't read that, can you?" Okay, that's fine. So these are,
Do you speak Elvish?
or unless you can.
Does Eyes of the Runekeeper work?
Remind me what it does.
I can read all writing.
Yes. Read all writing. Yes. So you can, and what it says is, that's actually really handy in this scenario. So what it says is, it's a basic description of it refers to it as a tablet. And you can see based on the sketch, it is a rectangular device with a blank face. And from what you gather based on the description, it has a way of playing back information recordings from the past. And it's very, very, very old, barely works from what they know or what they can surmise from what stuff like this they found in the past. However, this that they're hoping to find, and there are two of them within a ruin in the Croc area, or what they refer to as Old Croc. In that area, there is two of these in a specific ruin. They say that it's in a cave.
Okay.
Okay.
And from the knowledge that I have of the list that I have written down in my tome, I still need to ask if that tome still functions as intended because it's a packed item, but we'll get to that later.
Yes.
Does this tablet function, or does this tablet match any description that I have from any item on the list?
No.
Okay.
And the list you're referring to, just to be fair, is the one from Siren, correct?
The list of magical items that we need to obtain to kill the gods of magical fun, yes.
Okay, lovely.
Bro, they need an iPad. Oh my god, we're getting in here. It's iPad kid phase back.
Shot. No. No, but that it does not mention any form of tablet or anything that really sounds like that on that list. And also, I will specify for you that packed item, I would say, still does function because it is considered a magical item, and magical items still do function as intended. It's just that spells cannot be cast and certain abilities can't either. But it's kind of like, we get to it when we get to it, just because you guys don't really know what works and what doesn't. To be honest,
I just got aided by a
the
giant
test.
snake. Damn it.
Then I guess I can. This is the perfect opportunity to pose the question. So, for the sake of transparency, what is your ruling or laws or stipulations on items that would still function around the mist that would allow us to do this anyways?
Well, if you have anything that would allow you to cast spells anyway and would go around the laws of the mist, then we would ask that you don't do so within our city limits. If you were to do so, you would be arrested. You would not be immediately executed. You would given chance to defend yourself in court. However, the mist is here for a reason. It is here to protect us. So we will take that very seriously.
And one last thing before we continue. I have a very written in blood style contract, if you get my meaning. That requires me.
But he nods.
That requires me to help those in need regardless of the situation or the consequence, which may include using magic to heal or remove ailments from the sick or injured. I'm not saying an exception, I'm asking how you would address that should it come up.
Can you be specific in terms of your contract? Does it have to be using this magic, or can it be assisting those in need using other means?
According to the blood rite, It is either through extensive care or with the blessings granted to me by my contract.
Then I suppose you should try to do the former, helping those with extensive care. As, to put it bluntly, we keep magic out of our city and out of our region. Even though we do not fully control the mist, we control what we can, and that is one thing that we can. Those that are casters that have some way of casting, we ask them not to. And if they do, that is why our laws are in place. If you were to go against those laws, despite your contract, we would still have to follow the laws and you would be subject to them. That is a noble contract, better than some, but still.
Oh, no.
I have a question for the DM.
Yes.
Do they not know about like the God War and Elf and Human War that happened a bit ago?
You have no idea.
I'm too afraid to bring it up.
That is the only way you'd be able to know, is if you brought it up.
As out of character talk, I would assume that this is a sort of isolationist nation. So any and all contact with the outside is either minimal or non-existent.
Well, let's let them live in bliss and maybe not hurt her, because I have a feeling that we are somewhat related to the cause of what happened to the Scarlands. Yeah, artificers, magic users, fighters.
Straight up, if we could just grab his lips. It's like,
I wasn't. I was.
I know. It's all a joke. I know. But like, best not to tell any of this for the sake of not.
Yeah, maybe we inform them after we need to leave, because I would rather live.
I hope they let us
like one of those unprotected tribes.
No, bad.
I think that does kind of go into something that he was going to bring up, because one of you is an elf. He's going to look at you, and he's going to approach you, Zernus, specifically. And he's, again, a halfling, short man. He's got graying hair, and he kind of looks to you. I want you to know, because you are in an area that was ravaged by your people. We hold no resentment toward you or yours, as long as you yourself do not prove to be a problem.
Were elves part of the thing, DM?
All elves were part of it. It wasn't just high elves. It was the
elven
elven race.
Awful. Okay, well, I'll just get like... Okay.
If anyone does give you any trouble, notify the closest guard or someone and send word to the higher-ups. You are, as far as we consider, a visitor in our lands, as are all of you, and we judge each of you individually, not by the actions of your ancestors, but by the actions of you yourself.
Oh, it's fine. I deal with racism all the time.
Clearly, and that's why I'm making a point to say this. Now,
put my helmet back on.
Now, we can get these devices to you, and you can get on your journey. However, we will not rush you in any direction or rush you to leave. I'm just saying, whenever you are ready to leave, then we will make that arrangement then. Do you agree to our terms? You can go regardless. We're not going to hold you and say you can't. It's more so, do you want our assistance in exchange for what we're asking?
Again, we're just supposed to get some sort of information for you. That is correct.
Oh,
If
all
it
you're
is
doing is
these
grabbing the tablets.
Tablet sort of thing.
Yeah,
If
I
it is
never
as
relayed
dangerous
what
as
I
you
saw
say,
my
then
bed.
I think we'll accept the help that is provided.
All right.
Quick
Okay.
question.
Yes.
To the gentleman, I forgot his name.
Jermaine.
Jermaine.
German.
You mentioned early on when you first started speaking how what we have wouldn't be enough for these deadly creatures.
Correct.
What do you mean by it? Like like they're just too strong? They're like, what do you mean when you say that?
The best way to put it is most of the people we have sent have not been enough. They have come back incredibly injured. And most of them, all of them really, have no way of spellcasting. These gauntlets, at one point in their time, used to be able to give someone with no magical capabilities. But it's been a long time, they're quite old. We fixed them the best we can, but still not their peak condition. All they can do at this point is give someone with already magical capabilities magic.
Luke is just becoming more and more intrigued about these gauntlets, though.
Mhm.
They're looking at her with love eyes.
Stop!
Another,
You cannot
another
make out with
thing.
the machine. You Freddy Fazbear wannabe.
Now, Melda, what were you saying?
or romance.
Another thing, when we first like crashed here, I guess you can say shipwrecked. I don't know what you want to call it. We saw like a light in the fog.
Yes.
Was
that was one of
y'all?
ours. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
We had seen that there was something happening off the coast, and so we had sent scouts to go look. We have those bipedal walkers to do scouting runs because some of the creatures in the mist tend to stay on the ground, and they are scared off by the mechs. Some of them that you may run into, they're large snake-like creatures. You won't really see them coming until they're already right on top of you. So the mechs kind of make that a little easier. They might try to climb the mechs, slither up them, but by then you'll know they're there. Makes your chances of survival a little better. We can spare one of those as well, or if it would make your journey easier.
How many people fit on that? Or is it just a one person?
No, you can fit probably about 10 people at maximum.
There are two less of those people. Slay.
Dang.
Which I think goes quite well, because if there are a couple spots left, Richard Hardy here has volunteered to go with to document the adventure. He thinks it would be quite entertaining for the folks back home, and ultimately we want the people to have entertainment. It keeps their spirits up. And if they're able to see that there is hope, people from the outside that can do good, that may assist in our...
We'll try not to get him hurt.
I was going to say, he may or may not die.
Not by us, by...
Not by us, by...
Yes,
the
not we're
creature.
doing.
You said it was dangerous.
Yes, you have previously mentioned.
And our inattentiveness.
Richard Hardy kind of sidles up alongside you guys. Oh, don't worry about me. I'll take care of myself just fine.
It's like,
I'm terrified.
And Germaine will kind of chuckle a bit and wave him off. Now, again, no rush. You guys can take as long as you want. I believe that you are fine people. I don't believe you're here to harm us. I do believe you when you say that you are here to find this library. And I see it as an opportunity for us to get something we need as well. So, you are free to peruse our city, to do what you wish, gather supplies. However, if you plan to stay for longer than a few months, we recommend finding a better place to stay than the castle. We have to free up the rooms, but you're free to use them for at least the month, if it takes you that long.
What currency do you use?
We use a variety of currency. Electrum is the one we use the most. Electrum is primarily, although we are a trade society as well.
May we step forward? Oh no. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Do we have Electrum?
Which just like,
we
can I
have
forge
gold.
it is the question.
We have gold, silver, bronze. I don't think we have
Ooh.
Electrum.
That's okay if you don't have Electrum. Electrum you can convert from gold to Electrum. So that's just fine. I believe the standard rate. I actually got to look it up because it's a
I
little
think
bit
it's
weird.
5.
I think it's 5 Electrum for 1 gold. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm gonna say that's what it is, even if that's not the standard rate. That's my rate. God damn it. So yes, 5 Electrum for 1 gold piece. So you can pay with gold. You're just going to get your change back in Electrum.
Oh, okay, that's better. I was confused.
And Wick,
Man.
I'm gonna say for you, if Wick,
what are
could
we
you
paying
make
for?
me a quick intelligence check?
Who? Is it to who?
Yes, Wickatha.
Oh, I gotta be smart. Yay.
Yes.
That is a 8. I guess her brain did not decide to wake up today when she got out of bed, so
Yeah. You don't really like Electrum. You're pretty sure you know something about it, but you cannot remember what it would have been.
fair enough, honestly. It's too early. Let
That's
her
fair.
recharge.
It's like
It's 3 in the
12
afternoon.
o'clock.
Well, it's 3 in the
just
afternoon
like,
at this
I'm
point,
a
but it's fine.
I'm an artificer. Ooh.
What does that have anything to do with it?
Well, you know, I'm taking my son and we're gonna go get ice cream.
Yeah, right here, rabbit.
No, I am the mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So
look, right. As long as you keep him safe.
I will keep him safe. I'm taking him, boy.
You
Wick can't
should
even.
hope so,
Wick
you're
has to
sure.
communicate with. I need to get a text to speech app for Tick. I cannot.
Oh my
I
god.
can't do a robot voice.
It's funny. So Jermaine will look to the group. So, charismatic washouts. Is there anything you need from me before I let you go?
Aurelie
I
will
don't think so.
look around and then pat himself down. And he'll say, actually, yeah, do you have a map?
Well, we have.
Yes, we do have some maps of the city, do you mean, or of the continent?
City, and then if you have regions that you've explored or known territories that you'd be willing to share.
We have a few things around the area, a few known locations within a few miles. We don't go far outside the city. We can get most of what we need from here.
Maps of the city are scary.
Yeah.
Josh does not have one, so I will describe it. I do need to make one. I just had no time this week. But the map of Altney shows you. It seems like the majority of the city is ruin. It does not seem like they have really built up a lot of it. It seems like this main strip down the middle here is untouched, has been rebuilt from everything, and is what you see. The castle has had. It has a small map for that as well. It has a underground portion that seems to have tunnels that stretch across the rest of the city. And in fact, that's one thing you notice as well. Despite the fact that the main streets, you see people walking down, there are many, many, many small streets behind buildings that stretch everywhere. There's almost hub nexuses behind the walls, so to speak, of a lot of these buildings that stretch across the rest of the place underground. And as you kind of flip to the next page of the map, because it's like a booklet for a map, It's like an atlas. You almost see there's as much city underground as there is above ground. While most of the above ground city is ruined with the streets and whatnot, you actually there's more city underground that's just tunnels going this way and that, almost like an anthill that just spreads out. You do see that there are stations marked. And you actually would have seen them briefly on the way in. They're rail lines. They almost look like minecart tracks that lead around the city. And there would be kind of a picture on the map of what one of the carriages look like, so you know what to look for. It has these large circular wheels that just kind of look like chains that attach to the main body of what looks like a carriage that sets on the rails and then goes around the city. So that is sort of a way of public transportation other than on foot or on mount. But yeah, you get a map of that. There's a few towns they mark within a couple days of here, but nothing quite as far north as the ones that are currently on the Scarred Lands map. They don't seem to have traveled that far, at least not based on this map. They've only gone like a few days in each direction. And you do see one of them is marked. It is 4 days from here, and that is the town of Old Croc. And that one is marked. This map seems to have been a personal map of Germain, and that one is marked as in basically like red ink saying possible location of target. So that is what you get from him. I just ask you bring that back when you're done. We might need it back. We only have so many of these.
Mass production. I'm kidding.
And also on that note about bringing things back, truthfully, a lot of the technology here, for as advanced as it is, it's mostly stuff we have found in ruins and things like that. We don't really have a way of producing our own. So please try not to break anything.
Can I step forward?
Yes.
As Wick gets Tick from her bag, Tick shall relay something that I am typing.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. I have to scour the internet for this stuff.
What are you looking for?
I had to find something so that it would make sense where I don't use my voice as often. But I found something, so
Okay.
hopefully it comes through.
Might I and my associate try and use these old mechanics to improve upon them further? Help out in a way.
Interesting. Okay. So he kind of looks and he just kind of goes, huh, interesting. I mean, I suppose if you think you can, there's things all around the city you'll see that are mechanical in nature. There are plenty of things you could try to improve, but we don't really understand the technology. We just use what we can. Our grand inventor is really the only one that does know anything about any of it, and he's kind of indisposed at the moment.
I thought you were gonna say crazy, not gonna lie.
He's a busy man. He's currently out doing research in the field a few days away. Actually, I think he was heading out toward Old Croc, but he was looking for something in the ruins as well. Not what we needed. We only discovered about those recently when he was already gone, or we would have sent word for him, but he was already gone. So maybe you'll run into him out there.
I can also help.
I see. Thank you no less.
Of course. And you, pointing toward Aurelia, what were you going to say?
He was talking to Wick, just kind of echoing off the conversation that he's able to do something similar. But most of his information is in his tome, which is another thing I was going to ask, because he's going to flip through it and see that it still works. So this is another technicality. This tome from before is part of my contract, and he'll flip through it. And when he keeps flipping, it doesn't end. Am I allowed to use this or no?
I mean, I suppose magical items are not banned. They're generally alright.
Alright. Makes me feel better because I would have been ashamed to not be able to write anything down about this place.
I am going to ask one thing on the subject of that, and this will be enforced strictly. Spellcasting is, of course, banned, as you know, if you are capable of doing it through some means that the fog does not prevent. I ask that you do not ever refer to these items that you have as magical. We prefer you do not refer to them as any way of the sort, in any way, really, like that. I guess the best way to put it is we like to keep the idea of magic myth.
But you use it. He'll point to his gauntlet.
And it's
very
objectively
few
real.
people, very few people are able to see that. And when technology gets so advanced, like some of what we have here, it appears like magic. But you can just say it's technology. This gauntlet is just very advanced technology. It's not magic.
What doing Google eyes at that damn
Do
gauntlet?
you just hide it from everyone?
I'm not hiding it. I'm protecting them. That is my job, is to protect them from things that could hurt them.
Gaslighting.
Well,
Seems like
I'm mixed about that.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, his woman.
First, I don't know that that's what that is. I would more so say he truly. I mean, if you want to insight it, I'll tell you just off passive. He believes that. He's not trying to convince you. He believes that.
It is a form of censorship, not out of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Censorship.
I really
Yes.
will kind of say, well, just so we're all clear, they're entitled to their own beliefs, and we must respect them. This is their city. If that's what they believe is best, then we should uphold to that, even if we think otherwise.
And especially when you keep flicking so-called items around
In front of someone who I'm allowed to.
Magic has caused us much grief. And I believe it is for the best that it is kept away from here. We have items capable of giving those abilities, as I said, to some that do not have them, and some that do. But very few people get to see them. The only reason you are is because you are outsiders and are already aware of its existence. And also because I trust you.
I will follow your laws. However, I have a simple question, I suppose. Yes. Would you deny the people access to fire simply because they may be harmed using it for their own benefit, or the risk that could pose to the rest of everything here?
What I would do in that hypothetical is I would hold the torch and light the fires for the people so that they do not burn themselves.
But that doesn't mean that they can use other objects.
My brain still had
just spread set fire.
Ooh.
It just feels a little controlling, but I see where you're coming from, I suppose.
Yeah,
You
I
come from
completely
different places.
understand.
Your laws and rules are different from ours, and I understand your concerns and your questions, and I do thank you for bringing your concerns to the table. That is not against the law.
However, shut up.
As
You're
long as
done.
you are respecting our laws and not attempting to break them just to conform to your view of the world. That is all I care about.
The utter
If I
whiplash
may,
I'm feeling out of character is so weird.
adding
What is?
to what my companion
I
has
don't
said,
even know why. I'm understanding, but my brain's giving me whiplash and trying to comprehend it.
That's okay. Yes, Connor, what were you going to say?
adding to what my friend has said, you can't be everywhere at once. You can't help everyone. Lighting the torch for them isn't
Of course
possible.
not. Of course not. And that's why we have our guard. That is why we have other authorities throughout our city, throughout our realm, because I can't be everywhere at once. The I lighting the torch is a metaphor for the government around me. I may not be able to
Wait,
light
so
the torch, light the fires, but they can.
there are people who want to learn magic?
There are those that have expressed interest, and they are, how to put it,
Aptly put away.
they are let leave. People have left the Scarred Lands, but you don't hear about it because they are required to never speak of where they are truly from. Because just like there are dangers from people from the outside coming in, such as we believe you to be, there are those that truly do wish to take our technology, to steal from us, to ruin our way of life. That I cannot stand for. And so those that choose to pursue magic, who pursue that way of life, we ask them to leave, to never return, and to never speak of where they came from, as that would risk the lives of their families and everyone else here. We want people to believe this is a desolate wasteland with nothing. Because if they believed there was something of worth, they would take everything.
Liquid stare and like a way of understanding, but like she also feels in her heart.
Yeah,
kind of
Zernes is the same. He just
like relatable to a
How
degree.
how long has it been since there was one from you all here who had that desire? If that's something I may ask.
Of course, knowledge is free. I believe it was about 50 years ago, roughly. A man, I don't recall his name. I wasn't the one who handled his case. But he wanted to pursue a way to prolong general life, to aid in the life expectancy of the people around him, if not Altney citizens, the world outside. Not in a way of necromancy, but just improving general life, so that people had a better way of living and generally lived longer. As far as I know, he was successful, but I haven't really checked in.
If I
but
may,
this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
if I may, were they like you all here, or were they an elf, or
Was
if you
a
recall?
half elf. Yes.
Curious, I'd like to know more.
Um, all right. I mean, there is little information on it. We tend to keep things like this pretty hush hush. Um,
Understandable.
but he went on a great journey, and I suppose I might be able to pull up some information, and maybe when you get back from Croc, I can give you the information I've found and let you know if I found out anything of note. Maybe a name, perhaps. Maybe you could track him down.
Oh yes, please. That would be very. Yes.
Just keep in mind he has been told not to speak of this place, so he may not answer your questions for the first moment. However, if you mention my name, Jermaine Voxwaddle, he may loosen up a bit, because he knows that you have at least met me.
Oh yes, yes. I don't mean to endanger you or the people here under the care of you all, by any means.
Of course.
But thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. Two things, because a couple of you messaged me things you wanted to do. Zernis, you wanted to see if Sock could steal food from the kings.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sock's going to need to roll stealth check. And he's
Oh
going to
my
need to
gosh.
beat the passive perception of everyone here.
God, no.
Wait, what?
Passive
Sock
perception.
is trying to steal food. Yeah, because nobody here would be actively searching. They're all watching you guys. And so they would not be actively searching for Sock. So that's why it's going off passive perception.
Aw.
He got a 22, I think.
Okay.
17 plus 5.
Does anyone
He's
have
no
a
longer
plus 12?
Sock, he's a ninja. Period.
I'm going to be
No.
real. Nobody here has a plus 12 to their perception.
Don't be suspicious.
Or
Don't
anything
be
that high.
suspicious. Don't be
Don't be
suspicious.
suspicious.
Don't be
Don't be
So
suspicious.
I will ask you, Sock gets up there and there are meats, there are cheeses, there are crackers, there's a little bit of wine. Like what does Sock want to grab?
Aw.
Oh no.
You
All of
have
it.
your pick.
All of it.
All
Don't.
just nom 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 nom.
Yep. I mean, like, he'll go for the meat first and then realize there's other food and just, like, inhale.
Yeah. Like Sock can't get to the plates that are in their hands currently, but Sock can like get to the stuff that's kind of, it would be their next plate, and so Sock kind of just goes up there and just goes through and then comes back. Nobody noticed. Now Aurelie, you had wanted to do something. Go ahead and make me a perception check. And do you want me to type you the answer so you have it down there and just know what it is?
Yes,
or do you want me to say
that's
that
fine.
loud? Okay, I'll type it down. There we go. Once I see
Hey,
what it is.
Josh.
Yes.
Could I look around the room and take account for guard?
Yeah. So
Why?
go ahead and roll me a perception check, Melda. See how many you notice.
We're not affiliated.
23 for perception.
Ooh, 23. Okay. So with a 23, you're fairly certain. Hold on. Oh. Okay. That's actually kind of funny. So you look around and you see the few guards that led you in. There were, I believe I said there were 5 of them that led you in from the rooms. They are kind of just positioned directly behind you, few feet back, comfortable distance. There are a few perched up by the door. There's a few pillars. You see a couple guys kind of just standing by those. So in total, you're looking at roughly, I'm going to say roughly 10 that you see. And they all seem to just be the standard, same attire, just seem to be some medium armor and like a standard baton.
Cool.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to do, look for, ask, anything before you were escorted out?
Do y'all have a compass that works?
I suppose we can get you a compass, yes. Compass is rather easy to get.
Thank you.
We'll have one brought to your room.
How many years of knowledge are you trying to go back and figure out?
We don't know. The dates are very inconsistent because we're currently in the year 1963 NN. Some of them are not dated NN at all. Some of them seem to be from different ages. So we're currently trying to piece together what that means. If there was a world before, we don't know. A lot of the technology is strange and alien to us.
You're trying to figure out how the scarred land became scarred.
We want to figure out how the scarred land became scarred, but also we know a little bit of that, but mainly we're just trying to figure out what happened to the people here before the scarred lands, before Iodia, before all of this, before Iodithis. There are things that seem to point to being before Iodithis.
Long before time.
But we don't know what, and we're currently searching. And we think that these tablets have things that will point us in that direction.
Understood.
We know there were wars, but we don't know everything. Anything else?
Well, I guess I'll ask if they can provide us with food and other supplies for the journey, because our stuff got wiped out a little bit.
Oh my god!
They do agree to that. They'll provide you enough for the journey there and back, plus a little extra.
Maybe a working shower Drawson can figure out.
Oh, sorry, what?
Maybe a working shower Drawson
No,
can figure
that
out.
wasn't mentioned by me.
They do also.
Yes, the showers are broken.
Jermaine also does offer forward. They'll give you a few guides, just that way. Because some people who are scouts and know the area a little better maybe make your journey a bit easier. They know how to traverse the fog. They'll have their own walker, so that they're not taking space on yours, and then you guys will just have Richard Hardy along as well for the documentation of the adventure. So, yeah, I think with that, as they're going and leading you guys back out to your rooms, the things you asked for, the compass, the stuff is, getting prepared and eventually brought to you when it's ready. We're going to take a quick break, about a 10-minute break. So it's about halfway through. So we're going to take that quick break, and then we will be back when time to be back. So about 10 minutes. And we are back. Yay. So you guys are led back to your rooms and you settle in. Or you are led back to your rooms, but you are now free to go. You are told that they'll bring you the couple things you ask for, as well as when you are ready to go, to let those guards know at the end of the hall when you're ready to like leave the city and go on your journey. And then they will fetch you the bracers, as well as the food and stuff that they're having prepped. Um,
Mhm.
Galliard, we're going to do your thing real quick, and then I will release you guys to do as you wish. Um, so it's about 5 p.m. Do you want to wait till later in the day to do this, or when do you want to do this?
I was imagining like before bed, like
Okay.
as everyone is kind of turning in for the night after Galliard finally figures out how to use a shower here, he would eventually like later at night just go out a high ledge or balcony or the roof or something just to look out, see how clear he can look out up into the sky and see what stars are there.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So go ahead, and there are a few checks you could make here. I will give you a few options. You tell me which, because the stars are tied to a lot of different things. You
Mhm.
could either just roll perception to see what you see, or you could roll something like history or arcana, nature even, to see if there's any specific ones you might be already familiar with that you recognize.
I want to, let's see. I want to go with Arcana simply because he's a little superstitious about that,
Mm-hmm.
seeing connections between the stars and then the actions that we're taking. And at the same time, I'd like to imagine both has a little bit of flavor and with what he has on. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Off to his side, he has his spell book with just with a few little notes. And then on the other side, he works on unfolding that astromancy archive. The pops out into that little sphere that kind of charts everything.
Okay.
um, and then you uh, I want to also try something. The roll was a total of 26. However, I also want to try to see if I could influence it with the astromancy archive.
I apologize. Sorry, I was pulling up my list of stuff here. What were you trying to do?
Oh,
What are you trying to
partially
influence?
because it's the roll that I had done. Just add a D4 onto it mechanically, but also like narratively, like this thing kind of like does help with like star charting.
Sure,
It
I'll
also is a
go ahead
magic
and
item, and I don't know
yeah,
if it would operate right now. He's kind of
it would.
hoping.
You can tell from opening it up and everything, it does seem to operate, at least in the way you're kind of expecting. Go ahead and add a D4 to your roll. I think that's reasonable.
All right, that was a one. But overall, it's a total of 27 Arcana.
Okay, 7. Okay, all right. That's a lot. um, yeah, I mean, I'll say currently the sky's pretty clear. There are a couple that are immediately visible. Um, there's one. Let me read through it here. Make sure this is the one I'm thinking it is. Yes. Okay. So there is one in the sky you can see from here known as the Stellar Serpent. It consists of a series of interconnected stars that resemble the winding body of a celestial serpent. Legend has it those born under this constellation possess wisdom and foresight granted by the serpent's ancient knowledge. I'll say one other that you get here. Go ahead and roll me a quick D10, please. Because I can't decide.
D10? Oh,
Yeah.
all right. And that is a 10.
10. Okay. This one is often called the Whispering Wood. It's a dense cluster of stars, often looks kind of random, but those with more of an eye for it or having done research can kind of notice it almost looks like a tree. The branches sort of connecting near the top to form the sort of, it looks like the top of the tree. It's said that the spirits of the forest reside within celestial groves once the creatures have died. Celestial groves within these stars. And those who listen closely can hear the whispers of the forest under the constellation when it is visible. Trying to think here. So those are just a couple constellations you kind of see here. Is there any other information you're kind of wanting to get?
Kind of going down two things. One, just based on how different they are, where they are compared to, where home usually is, the Kingsport.
Hmm.
If there's anything more noticeable other than like, hey, we're a few thousand kilometers this way. Or
Trying to think here. One thing I think is reasonable to notice, the sky is easier to see. It's much clearer. I think because you've done a little bit of look into, well, I'm going to say with that roll that you got before, it is reasonable you'd have a little bit of information on this. The general concept of light pollution. Kingsport is a massive city, and there's a lot of lights, magical or otherwise. And so the sky, it's not the best place for looking at the stars. Most people that want to do star charting go to the outside of the walls where there's not as much. You can see the sky a little clearer. But out here, it's gorgeous. You can see the sky, the many stars above, everything so clearly. So many different colors and things you'd only heard about and read about because you've never really been in an area where you could see this. Traveling with Zernus, you might have a couple times in some of the more rural areas, but this is something else entirely. This is a very small town where most of everything is underground, so most of the light is down there. It doesn't escape to up here. So you can just see everything so much more clearly. So that's one thing that's immediately noticeable. You can definitely, tell different location, of course. Yeah, I mean, I don't really... Just saying that that's what you're looking for, I'm not really thinking of anything else that I could give you there. Not because of, like, the role. Like, that was a great role. I just don't know really what else to give you in that regard. For that specific question.
I think with that, what you had said about the Whispering Wood, that sort of constellation, and recalling some of the lore about it. Galliard has no idea what to do with any sort of like that type of thing, but
yeah,
I feel like, oh yes.
What I was going to say real quick is, I think it's reasonable. The Whispering Wood, and with your role and everything, generally when people have talked about hearing whispers from nature, going into the woods and hearing strange whispers from the trees around them, this constellation is generally very visible. Just a bit of information that you might want to mark down.
I feel like with that, Galliard might end up passing out here if he can do it safely, as he's gonna sleep because he's just watching, mainly focusing on that one constellation.
Okay.
Thinking back to the experiences that they've all had, especially something recent that Drawson had told him.
And you fall asleep on the balcony. It's plenty safe to do so. High railings. It'd be quite difficult to fall off. You'd either have to be pushed off or want to. So you're perfectly fine to do so. There's like a chair or the ground, whichever you choose. But it's a beautiful night, and it's not too cold, not too warm. Perfect. Okay. I'll say, Drawson, what do you
Can
want to be
I?
doing?
Oh,
Oh, Zernus, go ahead.
no, Drawson, go first. Get onto the bus, Drawson.
In that case, Drawson, what do you want to be doing? You have the day, the night. I'll say we just kind of go up until the night, and then we'll go into the next day with everyone.
Well, the rest of the day. Well, since we're going to be leaving for another journey, I suppose I'm going to start looking for food.
Okay.
It's
They
not
did.
something we scheduled, but like a nicer food for a meal that we can share together as what we do. I haven't discussed this with anybody, I'm just doing it.
Okay. So again, everyone keep in mind, you have not been told of this. If you choose to do it, we'll see who brings something. Drasan's the only one who brings something. That'd be so funny. Anyway, Drasan, you go searching for food. What do you want to look for? Is there anything in particular? Do you want to keep it a surprise?
Last time we had plenty of dessert, so I think I'll stick with the entrees. So,
Hey, Drasan, can I ask a quick question? Would Drasan be opposed to Kingsley following him?
No.
Because Kingsley is just following you like a lost puppy at the moment.
Oh, alright.
He's taken up your role.
Oh. Well, I'm not all that confident in New City, but I guess I'll look for something entree-like.
Okay, look for something entree-like. There are some little, kind of like mom and pop shop sort of things set up down the main street that have different kinds of foods and whatnot. I'll say the one that looks most promising, least sketchy, and all that. You kind of walk in there, and to maybe a kind of surprise, there is a satyr woman behind the counter. Looks to be probably mid-40s. Kind of looks a little tired, looks like been working a lot. But this seems to be sort of like just a general. They kind of have everything here. It's a little like butchery. There's a bakery with different types of breads, which the smell of that immediately hits you when you walk through the door. Fruits. This seems to just be kind of like a general one-stop shop for anything ingredient related. And she kind of looks to you when you enter. Hi, can I? Oh, hey. What can I do you for?
Oh, I'm going to look back at Kingsley and ask, do you make any, it was casseroles that Kingsley liked, right? I know I would remember it, right?
It's Connor, not remember.
No? Okay. I think it was casseroles. So I'm going to say that one.
Casseroles. All right. Are you looking for something like something fruity? You want something savory, something cheesy?
Something more savory.
Savory. Okay. I could whip up like a. Just yeah. I mean, I could whip something up. When do you need it by?
I don't know when we're leaving. Probably tomorrow. I can come by and pick it up.
Okay. Can I have it ready by tomorrow?
All right.
Do you have cherry pie by chance?
I suppose we do. Got some cherry pie right over, and she kind of like starts looking around, looking kind of lost. And Kingsley, I think you'd see it before she does. It's like literally right in front of you, and she starts kind of like fumbling over to the side. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? And Kingsley, would you have Mungdungus with you?
Mm-hmm.
You always carrying him around,
Oh, yeah.
eyes down, staring at it.
Oh yeah.
And Kingsley, you start to feel something moving under the one wing. You're like, start sniffing.
Just kind of looks at Rasan. I need to show you something a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
It's a little weird and kind of concerning.
Well, a little weird and kind of concerning has been the general vibe for a while.
You're not wrong.
She finally comes over and is like, there it is. So sorry, dear. I forgot it was right here. All right. So a casserole and how many cherry pies do you need?
I'll just take a whole one.
Just a whole one. Okay. Probably 5 electrum for the whole.
Where'd it go?
And to be fair, that would be for the casserole and the pie. 5
All
electrum
right, then.
total.
I got it. And I will take out the 1 gold.
Oh, gold. Got it. And she'll take it from you, and thank you very much. Again, I'll have your casserole probably about noon. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, that'll be fine.
Perfect. About noon. And then cherry pie, it's right there. You're free to take it, unless you want a fresh one.
No, this will be perfect.
Right.
And Kingsley's gonna look at it, then look at Rasan. Do you mind grabbing it?
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna steal the whole thing.
Yeah, and I will take the cherry pie.
Okay. So you've got that. You've got your order in. She does look to you before you go. Do you want me to deliver it somewhere, or do you want to just come by and get it? Because I can't always deliver it.
I can come by and get it.
Perfect. All right. Well, if you need anything else, you know where to find me. We'll be open for another couple hours.
Alrighty. And
All right.
it's weird that Mundungus can enjoy his cherry pie.
Once they're outside the shop, Kingsley's gonna kind of look at Rasan. So, I'm not trying to assume things, right? You know some nature stuff, right?
A little bit.
Like, I know you don't recognize whatever this thing is looking at Mundungus, but, have you ever seen anything like this? And he's going to, like, lift the wing up.
Have I?
So
Josh?
what you see,
never
yes,
mind.
Connor.
For a second, it looked like you were saying something, and I was going to be like, we can't hear you, but you're good.
Oh, no. Okay. Cool, thank you. So what you see is there is a little snout sticking out of Mundungus's side, and it's just like sniffing the air. The tongue blep just like you see a little bit of drool starting to come down. The smell of the cherry pie filling the air. And have you seen anything like this? Roll me a nature or history check.
I'm terrible at both, so I'll roll nature.
Okay.
It's just a straight roll. That's a 10.
Okay, no. No, like, I mean, no, I'm gonna just say no.
I grew up around a lot of things, but I have not. Well, not a lot of things. I grew up around a select few things. Mainly plants. And a few people. A lot of people. Anyways, I have not seen anything like that.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Maybe you could ask Wizard? He knows a lot of things. I mean, Galliard, obviously, that's what I said. That's what I said. I just...
He is the wizard, though.
He is the wizard, but I meant to say Galliard.
As you two are standing there discussing this, Kingsley still kind of holding the wing up a little bit. The snout pushes out, and you start to see one of the eyes poking out the side. and just staring at you,
Oh.
looking around wildly.
Oh.
I don't. Well, maybe there's someone here who would know something. They seem to know some stuff about things that we don't.
Yeah.
The question is, where would we go?
Maybe somewhere where Mundungus can eat. I think he'll go a bit crazy if we don't let him have this.
You hold
Yes.
it up, and Mundungus just like, give me the pie.
Yeah, we might want to do that.
So you go and find a place. Do you go back to your rooms, or do you just find like a quiet alley somewhere?
Yeah.
I'll say you go back to your rooms then.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Okay. So you head back, and the moment you're in there and you set Mundungus down, starts doing like the little wing flaps, slowly rising into the air, just absolute glee, and just waits for you to set the pie down. Do you set the pie down?
I will set the pie down.
With speed you haven't seen from Mundungus, zips toward the table where you set it down, immediately starts devouring the pie, stops for a second, looks up at you, looks back at the pie, looks to his side, turns the side of his body, and just from below the wing you start hearing num 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 num. Just start eating them, and then like goes back to eating it, gives some more to the thing under the wing. Yeah, this is weird. This is fucking weird. And Mundungus eventually finishes it. The tin is clean. There is not a crumb. There is not a speck of anything. It is gone. You think part of the tin is actually missing. There's like a little hole in the bottom. Might have always been there. Might have been from Mundungus. Not sure. Record time. It's gone. Yeah. And Mundungus looks sated. You have delayed the inevitable another day. I love the look of concern from Xerxes. What, they've been carrying the big bad with them this whole time. What do you think? Come on.
What? Oh God.
You were actively raising the big bad. No, I'm kidding. This is all a joke.
What?
This is not legit. This is all for funnies. But okay, so you guys do that. You get the food and stuff. Xerxes, over to you. What would you like to do? I saw your message, which that's just fine if you want to do that. What else? What do you want to do?
I want to do that. I just want to wander, explore, get a feel.
Okay.
Maybe meet people. I don't know. This place feels oddly empty to him. Maybe it's the lack of greenery.
I mean, honestly, well, see, that's the thing is there is a lot of greenery and plants and things in this area. Although the feeling of emptiness, it kind of is. Looking around for this city in the middle of the waste, this grandiose castle, the kings, it feels like there's nothing here. There's the main strip, there's a few buildings on the offshoot, there's a bunch of these ramshackle huts, but it is really empty. And you kind of get the idea looking around. It's kind of like Jermaine said. They kind of just found some old technology, some old ruins, and based their life around it. But they don't really know how to make their own. So like even the buildings are very basic. These huts, they're just like scrap wood and building off of pre-existing buildings. The people all look very happy though. They look very content in their life. Their, businesses, their houses, none of them look upset or anything like that. You see a lot of the commerce going on is either through Electrum or barter. Most of it seems to be barter. You don't really have a way of communicating with them directly, which uh, the people on the street, the people in the like businesses, kind of like where Drasan and Kingsley went, they all have those wristbands where they can communicate. But like just the people on the street that are just kind of walking around going house to house, they don't seem to. So like you'll run into some people you're able to talk to and converse with just fine, and some you try to and then realize they don't have the thing, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay.
I think I'd be speaking Elvish more
Elvish.
often than Common.
With that being said, your horizons are actually expanded a bit more. In fact, you can talk to everyone because it seems like just about everyone speaks Elvish. Just about. There's a few people that don't. But the people with the wristbands, they flick one switch and immediately are speaking fluent Elvish if they need to use that at all. And most of the people on the street at least know some Elvish. It's not perfect, and in fact, go ahead and make me a quick history check.
History, the 16.
16. The sort of dialect they're using is less like a more modern Elvish, and it's more of a, it's kind of like ye old English for Elvish. There's like, art thou stricketh by the, you know, like that's kind of the vibe. So like you walk up to someone, like let's just say, give me a person, like a type of person you would want to approach. Like, would you want to approach a guard, a shopkeeper? Like, who would you want to approach more than likely? Just a random person.
Is there like is there like a person selling plants or flowers?
Okay. Yes. You see someone. They're actually quite beautiful plants. They seem to be very well taken care of, varying colors, and sizes of plants. Some trees seem to have fruit blooming on them, as well.
Are they all
So
unique, or have I seen some before?
Most of them look pretty familiar. Roll me a nature check.
Don't have any. That's a 19.
19? Okay. With a 19, looking around at them, most of them you do recognize from the continent of Irix, where you've lived your whole life. There are a couple that catch your eye, and you are kind of like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen those before. One of them is it's got like a red, it's almost like a sunflower, but it has the sort of petals curl up almost like a rose. They're very thick, and start to curl up a bit. The center is more of a like deep crimson red, where the petals are sort of fading, kind of like the shirt, to be honest, fading purple and blue. That's probably the one that would catch your eye the most. The other one is mostly just green, and it's like, it kind of looks like every plant, so you're like, I've probably seen that, but like something about it's giving me kind of like that, I don't know what that is exactly, but it kind of just looks like green plant. But that red and purple is kind of the main one that you're like, haven't seen that
Can I
before.
like doodle this person or shout the nerf shop?
Sure. The person themselves, it is an elven woman. You're fairly certain high elven descent based on the olive skin. However, could be a mix of something else as well, but generally seems to be high elven. She has long, sort of blonde hair going to about her mid back. Has it fully down, very straight hair.
I'm not staring. I swear I'm not staring. I'm not staring.
You just proposed before you left.
I know. I'm not staring.
She very slender figure. Doesn't seem necessarily super athletic. She's just seems to eat right. But yeah, and then she's wearing just like overalls, and she has it's basically like a little cart, which you could like hook a horse or some other kind of creature up to, beast of burden up to, and it would drag the cart. But you don't see the creature here. So yeah.
I don't think I even say anything. I just like look at the shops and plants that intrigue me, look at it, step back, and just start scribbling. Like
Okay.
I don't even realize, but I linger on like trying to draw this person because people are hard, and then I try and draw these flowers because they're unique and I haven't seen them before, and I just say nothing.
That's fair. I will say that the sign above it, while you cannot read it, you do know two of the letters. You know, because of the name tag that you know says Johnson. The first two letters are the same, J-O. You don't know what's after that. There's an N in there somewhere. It's like the fifth letter. Or maybe not the fifth letter. I fucking know. There's an N in there somewhere. But J-O, N. So,
Joe, I know Joe's.
Joe's. Maybe this is just another way to spell Johnson. You don't know.
Can I please ask what the shop name is?
You want to go up to her and ask?
After I finish like scribbling it, I get to the side. I'm like, wait, I don't know how to say that or read
Okay.
it.
Let me real quick make sure I'm knowing this right, because you're going to learn letters. Hold on.
A B C D.
I love how Zernus is literally the one who's learning the most about language out of all of you right now, and it's just because Zernus is reading.
With like, I'll expand my horizons with my portable translator.
Okay. So you walk up to her, and what do you say? Again, I'm assuming you're saying this in Elvish, because that's what you said you were conversing with.
Hi, mistress. I don't suppose you can inform me what the sign says and reads and such.
Ah, yes, thou asketh me the name of mine shop. It is Joanna's. That's it. It is Joanna's. My name is Joanna.
Just fucking Joanna, the goddamn Joanna Claire. Like he'll step back and look at the letters. Then like you scribble it down. And like how the pronunciation, like an arrow right there, how to say it.
Awesome.
And then he'll smile. He really doesn't want to speak because he cannot stand this ye old, ye hard language. So he'll point to like the red flower and then like offer a gold.
Oh, thy God, ye old English is throwing me off so hard. Thy plant is worth much less than that. Thou holds the. You are offering a gold, you said, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thou hold the gold. This is only worth a mere penance, a shilling, a one electrum. Or trade, if you have trade.
I will look at something.
Of equal or greater value.
I have sparklers.
Do you want to offer her a sparkler or multiple?
I wanna show her a sparkler, yes.
Ah, yes. The, how do you say in this tongue? Sparkler. Not quite equal value.
Holds out an entire handful.
How many? Because you actually, I'm gonna make you keep track of these motherfuckers. Because eventually,
I'm gonna say
you
like
will run out.
I'm gonna say like 30.
30. Okay, you hold up 30. You grab one. She's like, not enough. And then you grab 30. She's like, she says something in that language again. You kind of get the vibe from her body language. She's debating. She's like, all right, thou has offered a worthy trade.
Does she know how to did she know how to use it?
You don't know. Do
Can
you
I
want to
ask? Like,
ask?
do you know how to use it?
Yes, on holidays. We have them, yes. There is a holiday coming up, so I can save them.
What holiday? I swear to fucking God, you better not.
You know. I think you know. No, it's not the 4th of July. It is the celebration of the founding of Altney. The discovery of this place.
When?
It is in about 20 days.
I'm gonna give her 50 instead.
Okay. And she will... That is a worthy trade. Your business is appreciated. Is there anything else this one can get you?
Sorry, just editing my sparkler count.
Yeah, mark off your 50 fucking sparklers. I will get you to run out eventually.
I
That
will
will
have
be my
one
greatest
sparkler
goal.
by the end of this campaign. I swear.
I don't know why I'm so hell-bent on making you run out of sparklers. You just have so many, and you will, I know you will, come up with some way to fuck me over with those sparklers. I'm just waiting for it. I gave you the most powerful weapon, and it is a fucking sparkler.
I don't know why. You seem to think I'm a bad person. I'll just go purchase more.
Like, literally, one of you just puts them all in a line, casts firebolt down the line, ignites them all, stabs someone. Yeah, they only do 1 damage, but there's 200 of them. You could, in theory, any one of you, because of how low health you have, you could insta-kill one of you.
I could insta-kill like 3 of us at once.
Yeah, because you would have to, in order to get the insta-kill, it would have to be their health 0 to 0, and then their max health in damage on top of that. And then they're just dead.
No death saves for you.
Kingsley, how much health do you have? That reminds me. It's just random question. I was thinking of something earlier.
45.
Awesome.
I have a lot more than you.
I have no plans. I have no plans whatsoever.
You have more than me because, wait, no, they're still level 4, aren't they?
Yeah, you're a level higher than them because you took the level in Warlock. They just haven't gotten level 5 yet.
How the fuck?
They're going to soon, don't worry. Don't worry, guys. You're getting to level 5 soon, so get ready to plan for that. I honestly thought we'd get there tonight, but we might not. But that's okay, because I like you guys having time to do things. You trade your sparklers for plant. It comes in a pot. It's a just clay pot with this plant. She would tell you that it doesn't really have a name, so I suppose you could name it. She just crossbred a couple plants from the area. She didn't really give it a solid name.
I like look at the plant, look at it, scan it. Should I? Yeah, I will. This plant, I will name it after you.
Joanna, that is quite kind of you. I'll make sure you tell people of that when you're taking it around town and showing it off.
I mean, It's hard not to show its beauty.
Oh, she kind of blushes a bit. Oh,
I'm gonna leave with my plan and my drawings and go draw
come
something
back
else.
soon.
Help!
I
This is
will
a
miss
trap.
thou. Anyway, you leave, and okay, you have your plant. Anything else you'd like to do for the remainder of the day?
I need to go find ingredients so I can bake again.
Do you want to bake the same thing?
Sure.
Okay. That's easy enough to do because you'll find basically the same place Kingsley and Drasan did. And she's like, another person I don't recognize. The wrong voice. Anyway, who cares? What can I get for you? Thank you for stopping in.
Just puts down ingredient thing, points to it.
All right. Well, if you need that, and okay. Could do it for 1 electrum. Really? Or no, you're gonna need that. That's kind of hard to get. 3 electrum.
He'll like put 3 gold down.
Oh no, no, that's way too much. Here, I'll get you a change. Here, take these. She'll try to hand you the 2 gold back and go get change.
Okay. He doesn't do it.
And-
No, you forgot math.
So 3 electrum. So she's giving you the 2 gold back and then taking the 1, and she gives you 2 electrum pieces.
Money I have. Yay.
Money. Yeah. So yeah, that is what you get back in change, and then she
I'm not
does
gonna
just
get in
rush off and goes
trouble.
and gets it for you.
Am I? For drawing like the castle, the entrance, some of the creatures and things.
Nobody stopped you. There were guards and
Neat.
nobody stopped you.
I want to draw one of the rat people.
That is more than doable. In fact, are you trying to do it without them noticing or just like doing it casually?
Yeah, like he who like approach one and tap their shoulder. Like look at it. Like, I hate it so bad.
And keep in mind again, carved scarred smile up across its face.
Just gonna like step back, point at it. Pen I have, write down. He'll like show him the pictures I have.
Huh? Ah. And we'll just strike a pose and wait for you to start drawing.
Yep, this is fine. I draw a rat like a French girl.
Okay. And so just stands there like this, and you draw the rat person. And as you stand there, and because you kind of have to study their appearance in order to do this, their ears, which rats have, they're not massive ears, but they're little ears. It almost seems like they've done a very similar thing to like gauges to their ears, but from like the center. And so their ears are just these massive circular discs protruding from their head, with like the circles in the center. Some of them have like the filled in. Looks a lot like the statue in the center, is all I'm saying. And just this big smile and just posing. And you draw this person, and then after you're done, they're kind of like to show me.
Yeah, I'll show. It's pretty good, considering my guy doesn't, do anything else. He draws a lot.
And then simply holds their hand out after you're done, and like points. And they kind of like do jingle jingle, hand.
Did you want to I like move and offer the 2 electrum I just got?
Snatches them out of your hand. And just walks away.
Yes,
Goes back to their group.
It's fine. I don't like talking to these things.
You gotta pay a model for their work.
Yeah, I do, I guess.
No, but yeah, takes it, rushes off, and you are, like I said, given your stuff. I'd say she's got to go get some ingredients and stuff for you. So like, while she's getting that, you do this, and then she comes back and gives you the ingredients.
I cannot imagine this Sado woman looking at the man she does not know, drawing this weird fucking posing rat.
I mean, she'd honestly, I think she'd probably come back about midpoint there, or like near the end. Doesn't look too phased. I mean, she lives with these rat folk all the time, so like, you know.
I don't like them. I hate them so much.
They're kind of creepy looking. Some of them have like face paint too. Like just like almost kind of like Kingsley's face paint, this sort of like clown jester kind of face paint going on.
You're not giving Zernath a fear of clowns, I swear to God.
I'm not trying to. I don't need to. But yeah, I mean, they look content. And you do catch them kind of looking at you for a minute, the others that you're not drawing, and they're kind of looking at you, like studying you, looking you up and down, trying to get like a vibe.
I'm like crouched down at this point, just scribbling.
Yeah. They seem satisfied, and then you finish up, money's paid, and you're given all of your ingredients you'd already paid. So she's just like, anything else I can get for you today?
I don't remember what he liked. I don't remember what any of you like, I'll be honest. I have a flat brain memory.
What was this for again?
Galliard and Radioactive Purple Rat Baby, whatever their favorite food is, he wants to buy that.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Not for your wife.
I don't remember.
Not for your wife. Absolutely.
How the fuck am I going to send it to them?
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. The two that you're buying for, don't tell Zernus what it is. Zernus, what are you getting them? Let's see. You might not remember, and that's okay. But what do you get them?
Galliard, fish. Fish? Salmon. Fish.
Salmon.
Aquatic creature.
Okay. Getting salmon is what you said. That was the specific one you named. Do you want to get something different, or do you want to get salmon?
Do they have anything else that's aquatic?
Cod, tilapia, just some like general white fish. They have eel. They have calamari.
I don't suppose they have a blue lobster.
Hold on. Let's see. No, they do have lobster though, but they don't have. Yeah, they have lobster. They do have crab. They're decent. I mean, they're within roughly a day of the ocean, so they have a very wide selection.
I'll get the salmon. As much as I would love to get Galliard a pet lobster, I feel he would eat it.
Okay. So you get salmon. It is. She tells you it is fresh caught and filleted in house, and she wraps it nicely for you and puts it in a bag and then gives it to you. What else?
Do they have the equivalent? As me as a player, do they have anything equivalent to Chinese food?
Like what kind? Because like Chinese food is a very general thing. That could be noodles. That could be like chicken with sauce. Like what are we talking?
Noodles, I think.
Yes, noodles like with kind of like a salt, because a lot of like Chinese noodles are like a thicker noodle with like a kind of salty sweet sauce kind of thing going on. I'd say they probably have something like that. It's a thicker noodle that almost has like a natural kind of curl to it, almost like an elongated spiral noodle that's real thin. And it has this kind of brownish red sauce on it, and you can smell it. Kind of salty, little spicy. Smells good.
Yeah, I'll take that as well.
Okay, sounds good. Are you wanting just like one portion of it, or do you want like a lot of it? Like how much you want?
Which is just one portion.
Okay. 1 portion, and then the salmon. Are you just wanting like 1 fillet of salmon, 1 like piece of salmon?
Yeah, why not? I
I'm
hope
gonna
you understand
say-
that I'm pulling these references from the actual people that play these characters.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say the salmon they catch fresh themselves. It's not too far away, so that wouldn't be that expensive. And the noodles, I think the noodles would be more than the salmon due to the proximity to the ocean. I'm gonna say it'd be 2 electrum. Man,
Do
you
they
just
take
had that too.
silver? Yeah.
You could offer silver, but you would have to do the exchange rate. Hold on, it's I'm doing the math in my head here. 2 silver per electrum, so it'd be 4 silver. I think I'm right on that.
I can do that. That's better than giving away gold.
There you go. Okay.
Great.
So you go ahead and give the silver, and she's like, "Thank you very much." And she takes it, prepares your food, gives it to you.
Great. I'm gonna go give it them, or at least knock on Wick's door, and then like when they open it, just like hold this bag of food out.
Stairs, ominously. No thought behind those eyes.
It's for our son.
She snatches it with like this scuffed, like she's like scoffing at you as she turns away and walks over to her son.
You didn't close the doors, and that's just gonna stand there across the arms watching.
She turns back around and closes the door in his face.
I'm gonna like block it with my shoe. No.
No. No.
I need to see if my son likes this.
He lets him in, reluctantly, of course, and walks. Just, like, how do I commune? I tap my fingers. It's like, my son, we have food for you.
Ooh.
Yes, you Russian. So, totally. Yeah, our food.
Hand it over.
Wick took it from me.
Wick looks at him and is like, just places the food on the table from little bed and like, here.
Remind me what food this is.
Spicy noodles, I think, from like it's a Chinese restaurant.
It's basically Chinese food, which I gotta ask, radioactive purple rat baby, do you eat it?
Yeah.
Okay. You get a flood of
Oh, no.
nostalgic memories. Memories you had thought lost. You had thought lost forever. You thought you would never taste this flavor again. From the dumpsters behind the Chinese restaurants.
Oh my
You thought you'd never again. But as it hits your tongue, your palate, it's like that scene in Ratatouille. There's just this like explosive fire.
God. Hold on. I need to pull up the song for this.
Yes.
Please do.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I don't know what is.
Yeah, radioactive purple rat baby is chowing down, and he's so happy to be alive. He has tears in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on. I have something. It was from the Ratatouille soundtrack.
Oh. Yeah, it is this moment of just bliss. And you chow down, and it's a good day. It's a good day to be alive.
I will leave now and let him have his moment with his food and go give Galliard the fish.
Okay, and Galliard, you get a knock on your door, and it is. This would be before you were doing anything on the balcony. This was still early enough. Um, and you hear a knock on your door, and it is Zernus with Fish.
Oh, all right. I suppose he would go get the door, answer the door, just kind of. Oh, I guess. Hello.
Hey, Gellert, I got you something.
Okay.
And like he'll shift and give him the pouch, or how have they packaged it?
What exactly does the package look like? Is it just like a?
It's essentially like a brown paper that's just been like wrapped around it.
So he can't see what it is.
Not immediately just looking at it, no.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't. My head feels fuzzy trying to think recently. I don't recall if this is your favorite.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
Open it. You'll figure out how you share it.
Okay, and he'll like kind of like scuttle over to a table, whoever there is. Just looks down. And he takes out like a small little knife and cuts a part where it can be better opened. And then he will do that and look down and see whatever this is.
It is salmon.
He looks at it, inspecting it, seeing how it was prepared, if there are any like spices, if it was smoked, trying to gauge any sort of thing off of it.
I mean, let me ask, Zernus, for your intention. Would you have wanted this to be pre-cooked or fresh?
I would have hoped so. Yes.
Okay, because you could have gotten it like fresh salmon and then just cooked it yourself. So I didn't know your intention. If you
I
wanted
just
it to be
appear at Galliard, gives him a fucking fish.
well, I mean, it would have been a fillet, but it might have just been like an uncooked, already pre-cut piece of salmon. But if you were wanting it cooked, it is fairly well seasoned. It doesn't seem to have been smoked. More so, just like almost like it's a pan sear. You can smell just the aroma alone. Seems like there was a bit of thyme that was used, rosemary, a little bit of salt and pepper. It's fairly plain, just with a little bit of aromatics.
Kind of just looks down at it. Oh, looks back over to Zernus with a small smile. Thank you.
I just wanted to remind you that they're on my mind. And I care about you.
Yeah, I care about you too. I mean, this isn't something new.
I mean, no,
Thank you.
just you're welcome. I'll it's a bed.
Oh, all right.
First while he'll slink away.
Me too.
Slinky away. Boing, 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 boing.
You know that Marge meme I drew Zona says? That's how he leaves.
Mira, a horse is here.
No, it's not here.
It's always here.
Oh no. Okay. Aurelie, I think we'll pop
Yeah.
over to you here. Is there anything you'd like to do for this day?
Is there a hospital here or something equivalent?
There is. There is a clinic. It's in the central area of town.
Okay. If they will let me, can I get a look at the patient list?
You kind of walk in and see there's a gnomish man behind the counter, and you ask to see the patient list. And at first he looks a little unsure, but after a moment just kind of nods and kind of passes it over.
Okay. Are there any illnesses listed on here, or afflictions that can be treated easily that doesn't require magic?
That doesn't require magic, you said?
Yes, because
Uh,
according to what I was told, I'm not allowed to do it unless I absolutely have to, and even then, I'm still
mhm.
going to get arrested. So,
Yeah. Yeah, the patient list generally, a lot of them are simple sprains. I think the worst thing that you see here right now is like somebody's arm is kind of like popped out of the socket and just needs reset. Um, Most of the injuries here seem to just be general injuries from working the farm or, because they're from like the farms outside, or something of like, something tripping and just kind of like spraining their leg. Stuff mostly that just needs wrapped. Honestly, looking at the list, it's stuff that with magic you could probably resolve, really quickly. But without magic, it's not, nothing here's fatal. Nothing here is like deadly. It's just minor injuries here and there. And there's not a lot of people. There's probably like 6 people in right now.
I kind of take a look at him. I say, I'm a bit versed in medical practices. Are you in need of any help, or do you think you have everything under control?
Well, I suppose we could take some extra assistance. We could always use more medical practitioners. Get the job done faster. Are you expecting payment or anything? Or, I mean, of course we could, but
I'll take whatever you're willing. Scraps are fine. Nothing. It's not really about that.
okay. Well, in that case, we'll whip something together for you, depending on how much you end up deciding to do. Come with me,
Okay. I will follow.
and he'll lead you through a couple doors, and there's these rooms that have a bed. They have a couple chairs, and a sort of like on a table. There's this square device that has images flashing across the front of it. Um, on this table, and you see somebody sitting in front of one of them in one of the rooms. On the tables, you're led into one of the rooms, and there's just a person. Again, this seems to just be one of the people with a pretty bad sprain, and he's just kind of like, and this guy who led you in here, this gnome, mainly just need to set things like this man's leg, for example. A lot of them are just this sort of thing, minor cuts and stuff that just need disinfected and wrapped. If you could do that, that'd be great.
Start with that. I will use one of my passive features.
Mhm.
I get a permanent 1d4 bonus to all medicine checks.
Okay, perfect.
So is that what I'm rolling?
Definitely.
I'm assuming.
Yes, this would be a medicine check.
Gonna add a 21.
21. Okay. With the 21, you're able to get this set in a position where it'll be able to heal. Just from general medical knowledge, this is going to still take a little bit to heal, but with how you've got it set, you're fairly certain it'll be on the path to recovery, and it'll be just fine. It's not going to be any kind of issue. And this gnome, he was just kind of standing, watching, making sure everything was good. He kind of watches, gives a nod of approval as the man who you helped is getting ready to leave. Good, good. It seems like you do know what you're talking about. Well, again, if you're wanting to help with others, we've got a few others who would be just fine having you help with. I'll be in one of the other rooms with one of the other patients.
Okay.
Feel free to take your pick, and he kind of shows you the patient list. These are their rooms, so feel free to just go room to room, and they'll be fine.
What out of all the cases seems to be the most complicated?
The guy with the dislocated, I'll say it's his shoulder. That one's definitely gonna probably be a little harder.
Okay. I want to give him like a thorough examination and not just go into it and start treating him to kind of
Okay.
give me a better idea of how I could possibly start this. I do also have a herbalism kit if that will help at all. I don't know if they do herbs here or if they have mixtures that they might be able to put together in tinctures.
Okay. Um, you could bring it up to the guy if you'd like to the gnome. See if maybe they got something.
Yeah. You happen to have a medicine cabinet or something that I could use this in, and he'll take out his herbalism kit. I've got some stuff on me, but it's just
Ah. Um, yeah, we actually we have a few tinctures and things in the room over there, and he kind of points down the hall. We got a little station set up for it. We're low on supplies right now, but we have a few things in there, mainly anesthetic things like that, in case a bit of pain. For example, the man with the dislocated shoulder, we've got him on some basic anesthetics, or not anesthetics, painkillers. Basically, is more so what I mean. Um, but we've got a variety of things. Although you're welcome to use our station if you want to make anything of your own.
oh, that would be great. Um, this is a weird one. Do you have a policy on pets?
On pets, no, as long as they're not endangering the patients or their health.
Good. And he's going to take out Slinky from his little pouch that I still have for him that
Mm-hmm.
was given to me as a Christmas gift. I don't know. He might recognize the species because it's. I
I
would
see.
say that if it's exotic, but it was used for medicinal purposes, but they've just people hunted them to extinction because they're
Mm-hmm.
really helpful.
Yeah. Um, he actually got a
Oh,
really high roll. Um, and with his plus, I think that's reasonable. It wasn't a nat 20, it was a 19 on the die, and he's got an okay plus. Um, I would say he kind of looks at it and is like, huh, I think I've seen something like that before, or at least read about it. Never seen one in person, though. Huh, interesting.
yes. Where I don't. You may not know, but we're the outsiders that came in recently.
Oh,
This is
you
from
don't look
my
like you're from around
homeland.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of obvious accent and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he'll take out a couple bottles and he'll say, for, well, patients that really need them, I can make this stuff all the time. My friend here doesn't mind, and he'll hand him like 3 bottles. This can, I'm not kidding. These things, it's a miracle cure. You have a broken arm, you drink this, it can mend it back in maybe a day. It's wonderful. It's a truly
He looks.
extraordinary creature.
He looks at him and he does take them. And nods. That's quite amazing. It's extraordinary what the right mix of well, biological matter can do.
I would certainly recommend, again, only use these if you absolutely need to. Like if someone's about to die, it will probably fix them.
Keep that in mind. Thank you. And
Mm.
he's got kind of like a pouch next to him, and he'll kind of carefully arrange them within it.
And then with that, I'll go over to the station that he was telling me about. And
Okay.
I'm going to try to see, is there anything here that I would know how to mix together? You want to make a herbalism check?
Yeah. Go ahead and make herbalism check for me, just with
Do
the.
you want intelligence, wisdom, or charisma? Or the other three?
Hmm. I will say. I'll say intelligence.
Okay. did not like my message.
Oh. Love when that happens.
21.
21? Okay. With a 21, you look around here and, yeah, I mean, there's some stuff here you can kind of piece together. You would be able to make some general, like, pain medication type stuff. Stuff to just ease somebody's pain when they're, like, real bad off. Effectively, it would be like a basic potion of healing. Because, okay, the way I've always looked at it is your hit dice, your health. It's not just about, like, how much damage can you take before your body's beaten and bloodied. It's about your willpower. And if you're not in as much pain, you have a little more willpower. You can fight a little longer. So essentially that is what you can make here, is like a basic potion of healing. You could probably make a couple. And as far as other kind of stuff here, disinfectants for like gashes and things. It's a lot of just like herbs that, if crushed up and brought together correctly, you could use to stop bleeding. It would sort of staunch the bleeding in an area, solidify, just until the wound is healed over enough. That kind of stuff.
Okay. With the man who has the dislocated shoulder, is there any notes on file? Like, how did it happen? Is there like any complications that's written down that might be making the treatment difficult?
So yeah, as for how it happened, the guy came in. He's a farmer from the outskirt of town, and he actually walked in just fine. Like, he walked in like he was walking into a store and about to ask to buy their finest silks or whatever. Like, he just walked in very casually, no pain or anything, didn't act like it anyway, just had his arm hanging limply. And then he was like, yeah, so they refer to them as, oh, hold on, I actually need my thing here, give me a sec. They refer to them, these creatures, the reptilian creatures, as Hammercross, spelled Hamar cross, in case you're interested. Refers to these reptilian creatures as that. They're large beasts of burden, and it seems he got trampled partially. One of them got a little spooked that he owned and kind of rushed forward and stepped on his arm. He just was like kind of moving, and so that when it got like knocked, stepped, twisted, it just kind of popped. And so that's how it happened. He was running on just pure adrenaline in the moment. He's kind of passed out at the moment. They gave him a little bit of pain medication. He just passed out from the pain until he got that. But he's still unconscious. But in the moment, he just was going off of everything in the moment, what he was going on. But what am I trying to say? Sorry, my brain's all over the place.
Okay.
As far as complications, none really. They've tried to set it, and he just kind of jerks up out of dead unconsciousness and is a little violent. Just the pain, he's just trying to get the pain to stop, so he like shoves people away and then eventually settles back down and falls back asleep. But no real complications otherwise. Doesn't seem like there's any other minor or major injuries. Some bruising is the only other thing, really.
Yeah. And then, can I get close to him? Is he like out?
He's out. Yeah, you can enter the room. He doesn't seem to stir even once you get close to him.
I'm gonna try to examine the area, very gently apply pressure, and see if I feel any fractures. Because if he's out, then I can do this without worrying about it.
Right. So you apply light pressure. Do me a favor. Go ahead and make me just a medicine check, because just kind of knowing where to press, and hopefully, because
21
again, 21 again, lovely. That's good, because that means you're basically able to apply pressure to the right areas as to not risk him waking up again because he is out. But as was said in the thing, every time they've tried to reset this, he jolts up and gets a bit violent. But you're able to kind of apply pressure in the right areas, kind of test around, see what you can find out. Again, you do find the obvious. It is dislocated. It would need reset. You feel that there is probably something else that might have been. He might have a cracked bone. It's starting to swell a bit. This is sort of. I don't know exactly what bone this would be, but it's basically the bone from the shoulder to the elbow. Something in there does feel like it might be cracked. You feel some swelling. So it might just be something where he needs like a full arm cast or something of the like, even after it's set. At least for a little while.
Okay. Yeah, then if that's the case, I probably can't pop it back into place. It's also a little bit too late for that, too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think what I could do. If he keeps getting up, that's my problem.
Yeah.
Is it like an IV? Is that a thing?
You don't see one.
Okay.
You don't see anything like that. He doesn't really seem to be hooked up to anything necessarily.
Okay. Then I guess I'll just start making a cast and trying to, with the best of my ability, just kind of observe without touching, and then go from there.
Okay. That is honestly, I think with the rolls you've been making, 21 twice in a row, I think with the amount of time you've taken to really look at this, read up on it, figure things out, you're able to do that. No issue. A cast isn't something I think that's new to you necessarily. You've done a lot of healing, and while it has been magically based for a lot of it, that is a pretty early thing that they would teach you how to do, at least even a basic one. And so you're able to do that without issue.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, we'll get him wrapped up. We'll make him feel better.
okay. Yeah, Guy doesn't seem to really stir at all. He really seems to be out, and you kind of know where to avoid in order to do that. He does after, like, near the end, once you're finishing up, he does kind of start to stir, but not like jolting up or anything. He just kind of like groans a bit and kind of looks over to you. Who are you?
Oh, I'm one of the outsiders. I'm just coming to volunteer for the clinic for today.
And just kind of falls back asleep. He's very out of it. But yeah, he falls back asleep, and you're able to kind of finish up with what you're doing there without issue. Eventually, Gnomish guy does come back and is like, "Nice, nice. Um, you planning on staying and helping anyone else?"
Um, I could probably finish off the rest of what you got if you wouldn't mind. No offense.
Uh, no, none taken. Wouldn't mind at all, to be honest. There's just a couple left. I finished up a couple myself.
All right. What we got left?
Okay. So what you got left? There's a lady with a large gash on her calf. was running through some woods and just a branch caught just the wrong way, just cut through the calf. It's pretty nasty, but knowing some of the stuff that you saw in like the herbalism room, staunching bleeding and all that, wrap it up, that's going to be a pretty easy fix. As for the other one, there is a... This is actually... So, this isn't a person. No, I'm going to change that. I was going to say that it's a pet, but no. Not a pet, but like one of those beasts of burden. I mean... But no, I'm going to change that. This last one is one of the rat folk. It seems that they're like large sort of gauge in their ear, which you'd kind of seen briefly on the walk. Kind of got caught on something, and the one ear's just gone now. So that's fun. Or at least the whole like top part is. So, do you assist in tackling those?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We are running short on time here, so if it's okay with you, I would say,
yeah, that's fine.
If you could make me just a quick medicine check, because I wanna give the others a quick opportunity to do stuff.
On again. Rolled 21 4 times in a row.
That is nuts, and I love it. Okay, so you, yeah, no, you have no problem with that. The one with the missing ear, this rat folk seems incredibly distressed, like so distraught over this entire thing. I mean, he is acting like he just lost an arm, having lost this ear. Ranting and raving about, this being almost like it is part of their culture, and it's gone now. But you're able to get it healed, or at least to get it to a state where it's not bleeding, it's wrapped, it's fine. And the gash on the leg is also rather easy to fix. She's ready to go back out in the woods and do what she was doing, but her family told her she had to come in here, so she's just like here. But you're able to get that taken care of. Galliard, you and me already, we had done what you wanted to do there. Maldette, is there anything you would like to do for this day?
Just work on cipher to make an alphabet and stuff, so we can communicate between each other.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a... Oh, what do I say here? Just a flat intelligence check.
Okay. 13.
13. Okay. You have been doing a bit of work on this already, so your DC is not super high for this one. And so you were able to make some more progress. And you work on that for a while. In a good amount of time, some good amount of work in it, you're fairly certain you'll be able to make a good cipher that'll not only be hard to break, but also easy to use for those around you. Okay. Is that all you want to do for this day?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Okay. All right. And Wick, what about you? Anything you want to do? You get the food that is given to you and then taken from you to give to radioactive purple rat baby by Cernus. What would you like to be doing for the day? If anything. Wickatha.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Sorry, I went to the bathroom.
Oh, you're fine. Is there anything you'd like to do for the day?
I think I'm actually good. I'm spending time with my son, and we are doodling on paper. Because I like to think that would be nice.
That is glorious, and I love it.
Yes.
The doodles are had, the doodles have been done, and that brings us to the end of the day. So, do I want to do that now? What time is it? 9:48. Okay. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That one. Okay. So, Kingsley. Hey, how's it going? Um, so you chillaxing in your room like a baller, and then you decide to go to bed at some point. You taken your nap earlier in the day. You spoke to Serena, and as you drift off to sleep, you start to feel yourself going into that dream space again. But it's not the cottage that you see in front of you. In front of you, there is a gravel path. Actually, I'm going to switch who this is happening to, because you've already had this experience. Zernus. No, that feels like it'd be too cruel. Who do I want this to have happen?
Do it, coward. I'm
No.
not afraid of you.
I was going to do it to Zernus, but Zernus has already had so many good experiences. I want someone who hasn't really.
Radioactive purple rat baby.
Radioactive purple rat baby.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
This will be a fun thing for you, I think. So you go to sleep. Achoo. Ahoo. Ahoo. And you go to sleep. And then, after having... you go into a food coma after the noodles. So good. Yum yum in my tum. And then you go to bed and you dream. And you see a gravel path laid out before you. The space around it, black darkness. The only other things splitting that up are spots of white. And your passive perception of 10. Go ahead and roll me a d20. Don't add anything and tell me what it is, because that'd be perception. Rolling perception.
All right, I'm gonna let me do this in your. Oh, I got an 18.
18. Hey, that's nice. I'm glad. So you notice that this isn't just blackness with dots of white like stars. This is yarn or something like it. This is a large... it almost looks like a blanket. And those dots of white are sewn into it. And in front of you at the end of this pathway is a door. It's all your size. So it's not like a large, massive door. It's a door, a path, all your size. But let me be more specific. There's not one door, but there's two. There's a door on the left and a door on the right. The path splits. The door to the left seems to have scratches down it. The door to... so that's the door to the left. The door to the right is ajar ever so slightly, and you see a light coming out through the crack. Do you go to the door to the left, door to the right, or do you not choose at all? And do you stay where you are?
I'll go to the door to the right.
Door to the right, the one ajar. Okay. So you approach and you open the door to the right, you walk through it, and this light bathes you, and there's warmth and comfort in its light. Almost as much warmth and comfort as those noodles, with half the flavor. And so you walk through, and you find yourself gravel path, same as that one. The door closes and vanishes behind you, and there are 2 more doors in front of you. The one on the left is blackened and burned at the bottom, as if there was a fire on the other side that licked from the bottom. The door to the right is... It almost looks like someone has taken an axe and attempted to like chop it through it in multiple different places, although you can't see through the holes. Which door do you go through? The door with the holes on the right, or the burnt door on the left?
The door on the left.
Okay. Let me look at my notes. Door on the left. Okay. Go through the door on the left. And on the other side, there are 2 paths, but only one of them has a door. The door on the right is just a plain door. Looks like all the other ones, but with no alterations, no changes, nothing. And the path to the left is a cliff. Which way do you go? The door or the cliff?
Go to
No
the
fall damage, baby.
No fall damage, baby. I mean, it's a dream. Maybe I'll get splattered upon impact.
This is also just a dream. Who knows? Maybe you can't die at all.
Maybe I'll grow wings.
Maybe.
Maybe if you die in the dream, you'll die in real life.
So what do you do?
I'm gonna take a dive off the cliff.
Okay. And so you take a leap of faith. And you head toward the cliff. And you fall. And you fall, and you fall, and you watch this great tapestry rush by you. This tapestry of black. Until you're no longer falling, but standing on solid ground. You feel the grass beneath your feet. You feel the wind through your fur. And you stand there on the edge of a cliff, looking out over a city. And you know that city. It's Kingsport. You're standing on a cliff a decent distance away, but you can still clearly see that's what it is. The spires stretching toward the sky, toward the clouds above them. And there's an alarm blaring, loud. And you've heard that siren before. You've heard it a long time ago. And you start to hear the sounds of many, many fans, maybe propellers from something. And you just can't place your mind and your thoughts onto exactly what it was. It's scattered memories from a long time ago. And then there's a bright, blinding flash and a wave of heat and pressure. And the only thing you see is a silhouette of a man in the sky. That's when we're going to end tonight's session.
Okay.
Yep.
Glad that
I
wasn't
don't wanna
me.
win
Get
another
under the bus, son.
Just tell me when the stream is over so I can make the joke.
Okay, hold on. Thank you all for stopping by. As always, VODs go up on YouTube a week from the original session airing on stream, as well as it goes on Spotify. I didn't get it up in time this week, but it's also a week from when the session airs. So yeah, everything's on the About page, Discord, all